And good evening, everybody. Back on the K&K Sports Show, and currently on a temporary basis, redubbed as we decided the BNS No BS Show. Joined
What?
today.
That's
We
awesome.
talked about this.
I didn't know. Well, guess what? I got to rebrand the show now. I got to rebrand the whole thing.
And being joined on at least at the beginning of the show by our buddy Robert, who has done a ton of stuff behind the scenes and always appreciated. And of course, to the right, my co-host on What's the Scoop, my longtime buddy Brandon. How you doing, buddy?
Good. As far as you and I go, Scoop, hope we wish we could have got a better outcome from, believe it or not, both New York teams tonight.
Yeah, I was going to make the same joke if you didn't.
Yeah, but listen,
I love that you guys want the Knicks to lose so bad. You just don't want your area to be happy.
Yeah, like for me, well, I know Scoop has a valid reason, but I have a very valid reason. It's literally my rival. It's my rival.
Wait, Scoop, what's your reasoning that you don't want the Knicks to win?
How honest do you want me to be? Because
James Dolan. Okay.
Had nothing to do with James Dolan whatsoever.
What?
Because as you know, I went to Seton Hall University. Shout out, go Pirates! With Brandon, and I had been out of following NBA for a couple years, really since 2016. And the only teams that we got on the TVs there were Knicks and Nets. But the Knicks fans that I was meeting freshman year were so ungodly annoying that just because of them, I started following Brooklyn instead.
That's funny. That's really funny. Oh my god!
It's the same reason why I'm rooting for San Antonio this week.
It's so funny that even here in Seattle, people are like, we don't like OKC. But it wasn't your fault. It was an idiot owner who wanted to move him to OKC, and then we know the whole history.
Anyway. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to say, guys, it's Brandon. You've heard me say this a few times. How whether it's the baseball or football or just the sports guys in general have a sense of humor. So this show that we're on right now was started by two New York Knicks fans, and when the New York Knicks make it to the finals for the first time in 27 years, it's two Knicks haters doing the show.
Well, here's the deal. They did a show yesterday, so we're just...
No, I know. It's because of this specific show being started originally by them.
There's Kenny anyway. So,
did he jump in? Okay.
There's Kenny.
Go New York. Go New York. He says, took Spurs' best shot tonight, and we still won by 10. Wow. Yeah.
Here's the deal, okay? San Antonio is very young, and they showed their youth tonight in the second half. They dominated all through the third quarter. Champagne was making his shots. Harper was making his shots. Yep. And of course, both Wemby and Brunson got injured. Brunson with a more serious injury. We'll see what the official diagnosis is going into tomorrow.
He looked fine in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, he did look fine. And again, I don't. The youth, we've always said, is the biggest problem with San Antonio. The experience of the Knicks. And I want to say this. Chet Holmgren, you better look at what Cat did tonight. Because he actually went after him. It wasn't like the most beautiful thing you'll ever see, but he went after him. And this is what we're talking, this is what Chet did so wrong in Game 7. You got to go after Wemby if you want to win. The steal at the end of the game, you need to go after him, and the Knicks actually went after him. Let's just hope it starts next year, Kenny said. I think most Knicks fans are feeling this way. But Brandon, your biggest thing was the Aaron at the end of the game, which is basically what everyone in social media is talking about.
It's you know why? Because it's he's the biggest part of it for me, because I'm like, games are won and lost by what you do basically on two possessions. Basically, it's what you do when you get the ball in your hands late in a game, and then what you do immediately following that possession, whether or not you make or miss the shot. The problem is, De'Aaron Fox had a clear wide open shot inside the free throw line, literally a gimme of a shot that a 5-year-old can make, bricked it, and then immediately on the other end committed a foul. So you laid a 4-point swing because of your incompetence, because you literally were not built for that moment there. So you got butterflies in your stomach, whatever the hell happened. You bricked the shot, but it's like, okay, you bricked the shot, but then continue to play. If he bricks the shot and then plays good defense and they get the ball back, whatever, okay, I'm fine with it. But you cannot foul. I think it was Josh Hart that he fouled. You can't foul Josh Hart immediately after embarrassing yourself on a missed gimme on the other end. You can't. It's a 4-point swing, and that's eventually what made them, what down the stretch in the last minute and a half after that had to rush, or felt like they had to rush and then eventually lost that game, just lost it completely. So
Right.
it's like, and it's not just him. It's the fact that even before that miss by De'Aaron Fox in the last 2 minutes, the game was close. The game, pretty much in that entire fourth quarter was separated by 2 or 3 points almost every possession. And so you get to the very end, and it's only, as you kind of get close, you're down by 2, you're down by 1, you're tie game, or then you're up in front, whatever it is. But the Spurs, you've got a whole shot clock. Why are you running down the floor at full speed, trying to get shots up? You are in this game. Slow it down and play your style of basketball and get a good shot.
Yep.
And this is my thing. And this is my thing the whole game. You look at the first, let's put it this way. The first 6 minutes of the game, I was like, uh-oh. Why are the Spurs playing this fast?
Right.
They were much slower against OKC. The entire series, they were slower than them, and that was the reason they won the series.
Yeah.
Why do you need to play at this, 99 pace if we're going to go by FIFA FC standards since we got the World Cup next week? That's what it felt like.
But that's the thing, too.
It's ridiculous.
It's like eventually they caught up to that pace, and then they passed the Knicks, but you can't keep playing at that pace for 4 quarters. That's why at the end of the game, you saw guys huffing and puffing and breathing heavy. You gotta, when you are in that close of a game, and you trust the guys around you. And this even goes back to just the coaching, even not just the players, but the coaching. You got to tell your guys, slow down, because you are in this game. I could see if you were down by 10 with 2 minutes left and you had to kind of pick it up and then rush and whatnot. But it's a 2 or 3 point game, tie game, whatever it is, the last 2 or 3 minutes. That's an eternity in basketball. You cannot be rushing into shots with you're throwing up shots with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Why? It doesn't make sense.
After the beginning of the game, because obviously the Spurs outdid them offensively in the very beginning of the game, and then the Knicks kind of went on from there. The fact that the Spurs regained momentum toward the end was making me think, okay, maybe this is the Spurs team that I thought we were going to get, despite the fact that Wemby had gotten banged up, despite the fact that, as we talked about, Coach Johnson, for whatever reason, kept taking him off the paint. And ultimately, but it was, like I said a few minutes ago, it was basically snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. There was absolutely no possible reason that they should have just given that game away at the end. And that's basically what they did. The Knicks basically were trying to give them every chance to get the game back, and they basically just said, no, thank you.
But that's the thing, though. Why does Wemby have to? This is something I like seeing Wemby take threes, but I don't like when he's forced to do it.
Nobody wanted that ball down the stretch. Nobody did. It was just force feed Wemby and let him cook. I'm like,
and let him shoot a three that he makes. I mean, look, he makes threes at a good clip. I'm not saying he doesn't, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to.
What did I say? I think it was yesterday when we were on the show. In the last couple of days, I can't remember which show it was because we've done so many in the past. We've done so many in the past week. But whatever show we were on, one of the things that I said and somebody else said was, what's going to be key is just play like you just said a few minutes ago. but I said it in a different way. Playing your own game, but in the sense of just let your players do what you brought them in to do. Let your players do what they excel at. And
Yeah.
by forcing Wemby into that position, that is basically the opposite of what you just did. You did not allow Wemby to be there to utilize his strengths and play to his strengths, and letting the other guys do what they're thing. Because again, as you mentioned, I think both of y'all did, but as you mentioned, because De'Aaron Fox was having everybody going, "What the Fox?" Because nobody knew why. He didn't seem
Harper
like he
should
knew what
be
was
in
going
there.
on.
I'm sorry, Scoop. Harper should be in there.
there's
In
no
those
reason.
situations, he should
Yeah.
be in there. I get
Yeah.
that he's young. I get that he's a rookie. I don't care. He should
He's a
be
better-
in there.
he's
He
a better
should have been in
player.
there
He's a
during the
better-
season. He's a better player right now.
He's a better player right now than De'Aaron Fox has been his whole career.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. I mean, the Kings De'Aaron
Brandon-
Fox was special.
Special compared to the Kings.
I mean, look,
Yeah, but
he was
Fox-
really good on the Kings. Don't
Yeah, but
hate on
Fox-
his Kings tenure.
Yeah,
Don't
but
do
Fox,
that.
Fox,
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
but-
hating on his Kings tenure. I'm hating on the team around him.
but Fox was never I think the best guy in Sacramento. It was always Sabonis.
It was Sabonis, yeah. I would agree
Yeah.
with that. I
And,
just don't understand.
Wasn't
Also,
that the team that Valanciunas was also on?
who?
He's been heavy. Oh, you're talking about Valanciunas?
Valanciunas.
Yeah, sorry, I
he was
mispronounced.
he was on the Kings for a while.
That guy's been everywhere.
Yeah, it's
And then
journeyman delight over there.
Yeah, and then who's the other guy I want to talk about? I'm sorry, my head's still spinning from watching that. Hang on, I'm gonna get it.
Which team? I'll try and help you.
I mean, the Spurs, because this is like the biggest issue I have with them, and I've had this issue all season, and I'm just like confused
Cornette?
as to what they do. Yeah, Luke Cornette, thank you. Because here's the thing, Luke Cornette was really good, and he's been really good all year, like in pockets. But they don't need him. And Brandon said this before the show. And yeah, Kenny's right. Fox isn't 100%, but that's even more why Harper shouldn't be in. Why Harper should be on the
At
floor.
this time of the season, I'm sorry, nobody's 100%.
He's banged up, and I forgot about that. The one thing I'll say though is like, and Brandon, you talked about this before the show, is there's no reason for Cornette to be in the game in like 6-minute stretches.
No.
Like I get that they did it. I get they did it in the last series, but I'm sorry, the Spurs were better. You know.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest thing is that the Spurs were way better in that OKC series, even though it went 7. They controlled that series throughout.
Yeah, but you know what's tough when I think about this game tonight. Like, it's just honestly, these are pretty much, and that's why as much as the players' youth, the roster's youth comes into play here, but at that point, now the more I think about this, how this went down tonight, the more I'm just like, this is more so, if anything, a coaching issue. You didn't tell your guys to control the pace of play, because you clearly didn't. Because if you did, they would have slowed the game down. So you didn't tell them to control the pace of play. You didn't, and then you don't put in Dylan Harper in the most important minutes of the game late, and then you basically take out Wemby and let the Knicks go on massive runs before you put him back in. Like those 3 reasons right there is what lost you the game.
Yeah.
If they would have done everything, I'm not saying that Wemby has to play a full 48. Nobody can. But instead of taking Wemby out for 5-6 minutes at a time, take him out for like 3. Go do slice that in half. If you take him out for half that time, and if you had Dylan Harper, at least put Dylan Harper down. Forget pace of play. If you just take Wemby out for half that time, and then you put Harper in, the Spurs win this game by like 15.
Yeah, you can keep Cornette and just make Harper play more minutes. And then Kenny was talking about OG. I love OG always as an X factor, right? It's not just when he does at the 3-point line, but defensively, he's just all over the gaff, right?
Yeah.
He's always been this way, and that's what makes him such a fun player. But now after watching this game, I think we're going to go 7. I still want to say Spurs in 6, and I'm going to stick with my guns, but I'd love to see this go 7. This is going to be such a fun series.
You got to think now, right? Well, now game two, like, we were sitting there thinking that game two would be a must win for the Knicks because we all look, oh, Spurs will win game one, Knicks have to win game two. Now it's flipped. It's like now it's really dire. This is why I said this, that's not a good game for the Spurs tonight. Like obviously to lose, because you can look at it, oh, it's only one game, but then here's the problem. Now all the pressure is on you because if you don't win game two and you go back to the Garden, that series is over. It's over.
Yeah,
There's
Jody
no way
said when Wemby plays out of control, it's because he's forced to.
He's
the issue. He's forced to.
Because how many times down the stretch tonight in those last about 5 minutes did we see Wemby in there and everybody else was just standing around watching him either ISO or just try to drive to the paint? Like there was
make weird threes. Like
there was no pick and roll action. There was nobody else was moving. Like they're all just sitting there like, here, Wemby, go. Lead us to the promised land. Like you can't. It's oh my God. If I had to make an analogy, this is Portugal and Ronaldo.
It is. It actually very much is.
It's like guys. It's like
I'll have to trust you on that one, but
like it's like you guys are good players too. It's like you could have a 3-on-1 break, but it's like why the hell is Ronaldo getting the ball for Portugal when you got other
on a
guys,
counter? Yeah,
you've got other guys who are younger and better right now on a counter.
Can I get Joel's thoughts on this?
Yeah.
Is there something psychologically, do you think, too, to player on a negative level that other players are not getting involved early and often? Like, does that psychologically start to get to players at some point?
I mean, but the thing is that it's the flip side of it is what happened with the Spurs, because the Spurs were their young players were so good.
They were in it.
They were like they were making their shots. Champagne made clutch shots. So it's kind of the flip. It's kind of the inverse. But I think what you said, Scoop, matters for game two.
Right. Well, that's what I meant. Going forward.
Lion Coffee. We got Patrick.
Mr. Wilty is joining in and saying aloha. And thank you for putting the sign up. I can't really see it in my apartment, unfortunately. But right up here, Lion Coffee. And as always, go to HawaiianCoffeeCompany.com. Use that code PatrickTan to get a nice deal on some of the best coffee that I've had in recent memory.
You're really enjoying those pods, aren't you?
I am cranking those things through me. Mr. Wilty 2 weeks ago said, "Don't get too much coffee or blood in your coffee stream." I've got my stream at this point is about 40% coffee from Mr. Wiltsey. And
I'm unfortunately still ill, so I can't. I want to drink the coffee, but I can't. Because my body is just smacking.
Oh, I was gonna say, how do those two things go together? I mean, coffee's got antioxidants in it.
You don't want caffeine in your system when you're this ill. It's so bad for you. Okay, Stanley Cup final. Where's the goalkeepers? Where are these netminders? Where are they?
We knew this in the previous round.
Where are they? It's the Stanley Cup final. They're getting roasted. I know it's one game, but Jesus.
You don't want to roast when you're playing on ice.
No, Lord.
True. But what was that yesterday? What was that?
What did I say?
Brandon, go ahead.
What did we say before it even?
Oh no! Did you guys?
Older
now.
Okay, good. You backed out of it, Brandon.
Yeah, it cut out for a second.
Oh, I don't know why.
Me neither.
But it might have just been maybe because we were putting stuff on the screen or something like that. But or putting
it's just gonna be quick.
But either way, Carter Hart, a little bit older, kind of, working his way back from obviously the legal stuff, working, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of being inconsistent, especially in his playoffs, being inconsistent. And then you've got Freddie Anderson. Freddie Anderson's not a good goaltender by any means. He's not. And I'm like, obviously, as me and you are obviously in the Metro with Carolina, right. It's like we know that their goaltending is crap. So it's like I smelled it from a mile away. I'm like, of course this game's a shootout, because I'm like, I don't expect either goalie to do damn near anything. So it's Oddly enough, I really thought that because both goalies stunk, I really thought that Carolina would have been the one winning 5-4. Throwing 10,000 shots at the net like they do every game. But
I
I
think
I
I think
also
Carter Hart came into this with a chip on his shoulder. I'll be honest.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. Because the thing is, after that 3-goal outburst by Carolina, he locked in. He did
Yeah,
lock in.
yeah.
So so it was like that's who knows? It might have just been the nerves, but still, a 5-4 game is about what
Also,
I expect.
also, if you're looking at the two of them, the two Anderson juxtaposed against Hart, your Hart actually had to stop more save attempts than did Anderson, and his percentage was about 10 points better.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
So I guess my question to you guys is: do you guys think, let's say this goes 7 games, are we just gonna have shootouts every game? Is that what we're looking at here
I don't
after
think
game 1 or no?
I don't think every game, but I think you're going to see a lot of 5-4, 6-5, kind of games. At least
Yeah, like one
I would
goal.
say at least 4 out of the 7, probably.
Yeah, that's about what I was going to say. Is that if we have 6 more games, I would say about half of those probably. So pretty much what Brandon said.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I'm curious about. Is like, is this just gonna be a shootout fest? Like, is this what we're headed to? Like, because that's what it
I
looked
mean,
like after a crazy
I mean, I
game
don't.
1.
I mean, that wouldn't have surprised me at all. I mean, heck, we go back to the prior series when obviously I was watching Carolina and they absolutely annihilated us. But even 2 of those 4 games came down to 1 goal. Like they a lot of the games that the Canes are winning are coming down to that just that margin. It's and I mean we've all seen it.
Yeah, definitely. I was just expecting more from Carolina defensively, like just from their back
Yeah.
line. I was expecting a lot more going into it.
That's kind of what surprised me too. Yeah, what was like they're known for playing that smothering kind of trap
Trap.
defense.
Kind
And
of,
it's like
kind of like a triangle, but
a
going
little bit,
mixed,
yeah,
kind of like that, but the hockey version of it.
yeah,
Kind
basically.
of.
So
It's not the best example.
I kind kind of, yeah.
I see what you're going for.
It's
Yeah.
not a great example. I'm not
It's not
saying it is.
great. Yeah, it's not great, but yeah, basically it's like that's how Carolina kind of plays their game. That's how Carolina has always played their game, and everybody they've went against, basically, that's been their downfalls. That hey, we can't break past their defense. They smother us at the blue line and center ice. Even can't make any really can't get any good rush attempts down the ice. So it's like that's that's why I was just surprised just to see, they always say a 3-0 lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey. So, even when the game was 3-0 in the first period and people were freaking out like, "Oh my god, Carolina's
I
going to
mean, it
run away
was
with
two.
the
I thought it was when it was 2-0. I was like, this looks bad. And then
Yeah.
obviously Tortorella just like
Oh,
put his hand on him again.
he probably
Boys.
ripped into them. Yeah, he probably ripped into
He
them
ripped
after
into
that.
him. Yeah,
I
he
mean,
ripped into him with more confidence, but he was like going at him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. We all know from varying perspectives, we've all seen Torts. Has Torts been happy in the last 20 years?
Never.
No, at
Exactly.
least he was a little more confident.
Yeah.
That's always why I kept saying when we were looking for our own coaches for a while.
Yeah.
And we were like, and then, like everybody was like, oh, saying like, oh, we want Keefe or we want Cassidy or whatever it was. I'm like, am I the only one that's not opposed to having Torts? Because I'm like, he would light a fire under this team's ass.
And that's why Vegas
we
got him.
could win.
That's why Vegas got him.
We could win a Stanley with Coach Talkett. I'm still going to be sad that we fired Coach Torts.
Yeah.
Jody says Hader is back, boys. Closes out the 9th. Glad to see Hader back. I know that Houston's been struggling this year, but it has been largely due to injuries, I think. And I mean, let's be honest. I don't care how far away we get from the late 2010s. I've seen too much with Houston to ever count them out.
Yeah.
But
before you guys go into the Yankees, can I give you guys the national TV schedule this weekend for Major League Baseball?
Oh God! All right, go ahead.
So I'm going from Friday to Sunday.
Okay.
So Apple TV, we have Guardians, Rangers, and Royals, Twins.
Mm,
In what universe is Royals? Why are the Twins on? The Twins gave away 60% of their good players last year.
yeah.
They're on national TV
They
a lot.
practically gave them to Goodwill. What are they doing on national TV?
And the Royals too, no less. They just can we just?
I mean, the
burn
Royals
down-
at least have they at least have Lugo. They've got Bobby Witt Jr. They've got Pasquantino.
Well, yeah,
I mean, he's been terrible.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they still suck though. Like both teams are still crap.
Yeah, but
So
but
it's
there
like-
are at least players that people will tune in to watch if they
Yeah.
actually want. If they watch for individual players, which some people do, then they'll at least tune in to watch those guys. I would tune into a game to watch Bobby Witt Jr. Once in a while. I don't know half the players on the Minnesota Twins right now.
we burned down the AL Central.
Can we burn it down?
Yeah.
The only
Do we
reason I
have
don't
an
want to. The only
FS1
reason I
game
don't
on
want to
Saturday?
is because that's how the Yankees get 60 other wins every year.
Well, not against Cleveland right now. So apparently,
Oh dear God.
Red Sox, Yankees, of course, with
that's
A-Rod
gonna be one
and
of my-
those guys.
That's going to be one of the
Ortiz.
best booths I've seen in recent memory. I don't care if the fire alarm goes off. I'm not missing that game.
I'm gonna double stream that. You're either getting that in your national market, which I assume most of the country is, or you're getting Guardians Rangers on Fox. Either one.
Anybody who gets Guardians Rangers over Yankees Red Sox should be able to get legal compensation.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I looked at it. That's how I felt when I looked at it. You guys are gonna love Sunday though. Sunday night leadoff or Sunday afternoon leadoff is, well, whatever it's called, is Nationals D-backs, Peacock, NBCSN. Nationals D-backs is Sunday leadoff.
I mean, that would have been a great series 6 years ago.
Yes. Oh my God. Fill that with fire.
And then your second Sunday night baseball game of this 13-week streak on NBC is Giants Cubs.
Oh,
Sunday night baseball.
That would at least make sense because it's too. What's with the 6-7 over there?
No, because I'm like, nah, you know.
I don't care about
that
the
at least
Giants. Who cares about
makes
the
sense.
Giants?
That makes
They
sense.
suck.
That makes sense for 3 reasons. Two of the 5 biggest market clubs in baseball.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for that reason. The Giants were already expected to be fascinating this year because of Tony Vitello as their manager coming in from the highly regarded Tennessee college program. And then the Chicago Cubs having picked up the guys that they did in the offseason. So at least that, of all the ones that you said, aside from Yankees, Red Sox, that one makes the most sense and it's not even close.
And of
I
course,
don't care about the Giants. I'm sorry.
and of course,
I don't.
well, you know what else makes the Giants interesting? Their humping celebration in the outfield.
Dude, they're 24-38. They haven't played consistent baseball all year. I don't understand that at all. You know
Yeah.
what bothers me though? I understand like the up and down, especially for the Red Sox and the Yankees for a period.
I mean, the Red Sox fired Alex Cora, which I still don't understand. Almost 2 months later, I still don't understand that.
You guys only have one national TV game, and it's not even going to the entire country, and it's Saturday. So,
Wait, is that on? Don't tell me that's on friggin' a streaming service.
well, no, that's the Fox game.
Okay, they've been putting the most random games on either Peacock or God knows what.
Well, that's why I do this because I don't think the Sunday leadoff schedule's that good.
No, I know. I'm just saying that they're going to keep putting more and more of these games, more and more of the games that everybody wants to actually watch are going to be on, PVK streaming service that about 27 people have out and they live out in Nebraska.
Well, here's the thing. I'm kind of trying to prove a point here that the Apple TV schedule isn't very good. The Sunday leadoff schedule isn't very good. So I just don't, they're not worth watching anyway. Like you don't have to.
Apple TV sucks. And have you heard? Oh my God! Have you ever tuned into an Apple TV broadcast?
I did.
I mean, there's a few times I've had no choice to.
I did a couple times. I did for Yankees Dodgers last year, and you know why I turned it off? Because the commentary was so boring.
I don't understand how, and this is I don't understand why. Well, I understand why he found his way out of the league so quickly. Dontrell Willis is a baseball guy, but he's got no idea what he's talking about.
The best hire I think so far of this cycle is CC Sabathia. Have you guys watched Baseball According to CC on NBCSN and Peacock and like the clips online? He's so good.
I would
He's
listen.
so good for
I would
NBC.
listen to CC commentate the phone book.
Yes,
pretty much.
CC's social media is some of the best sports social media out there. He's awesome.
Do you remember when it was like a year or two ago? Do you remember when he was going jaw to jaw with Clint / Jackson / Red Thunder / whatever the hell?
Yeah, Clint Frazier. Yeah.
I think the genesis though, Scoop, of why you're complaining about the streaming service thing is because the Yankees once every week have a game exclusively on Amazon Prime.
No, I mean I have Prime. I have Prime. I don't care about. I don't care about Prime. I have Prime. I've had Prime. I don't care about that. What I care about is the most random occurrences over the every couple of weeks, and it doesn't even have to be Yankees or Major League Baseball. There are just random occurrences where the one game I want to watch happens to be on something. Happens to be that I'm not going to pay a $14.99 subscription for one game.
And the thing is, it's on a Friday. Like, could you imagine saying to your buddies when there's nothing else to do on a Friday, yo, you want to come over and watch a baseball game? Oh wait, we can't. It's on Apple TV, which only 10 people have. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
I'm sorry. This I'm watching the NBA Finals on Friday, and the Women's College World Series was actually pretty good today, so I'm gonna be watching some of that this week. But yeah, I'll let you guys go on Yankees Guardians today.
I will say.
I hope you feel better, Rob.
I'm backstage because I have a post-credit scene for you guys. Something funny happened in my local area that I sent you guys all week long because I can't believe it happened. So I'll be back. But
I haven't seen it. I don't.
Guys, Jazz Chisholm hit a homer today. There you go.
And it meant nothing.
Thank God.
And at the time it meant something, but it eventually meant nothing. But what I will say is, because Rob was talking about,
he stirred it out there. Okay, all right.
Well,
what's up?
He was talking about watching the finals. He was talking about watching the finals over Yankees baseball, over baseball in general, or even watching the Women's College World Series. I was like, you know what? I'll accept blame tonight for the Spurs loss, because when I wasn't watching, which was basically the whole night up until the last 4 minutes of the game, they were winning, or at least the game was close for the entire night. I watch it, and of course they lose by 10. So that's on me. I jinxed it just by turning it on. Whatever.
Wait, really quick. I gotta jump in. Brandon, guess what? No weekend finals games this week. No weekend NBA finals. It's Friday and then Monday. Because World Cup scheduling.
So nice. I won't be able to watch it. Let's go.
Oh Lord.
Stanley Cup is at least on Saturday.
If the Spurs win game 2 and I'm not watching, I will not watch another game in the finals. I swear. I will not. If the Spurs win game 2 and I'm not watching, I will not watch
World Cup for the win. I can't wait for the USA to not win a single game in the group. Woo!
Oh my goodness. This is going to be the most that I've ever followed the World Cup. If I watched 5 minutes of the scheduling this weekend, that's more than I've watched any World Cup in the last 15 years.
Oh, just you wait for when those games come on in the next week.
Yeah, I can already tell Rob's going to be just putting it down my throat the whole time.
Oh boy, pause.
Shut up.
I'm gonna watch stupid Canada and Bosnia go at it. I don't care, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I get to watch Portugal.
That Bosnian theme song is the greatest thing you'll ever hear in your entire life. That was awesome.
Bosnian theme song.
Yes.
It's not their national anthem. It's an initial theme song. They have their own theme song.
We can't play it on air, but after the podcast, we'll send it to Scoop. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I've never even heard those 3 words in the same sentence.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, baby. Wahoo!
I don't know what you just said.
He said Bosnia. Yeah, Bosnia. Basically.
Jesus, Scoop.
Oh man, but yeah.
Anyway.
Baseball.
Yes.
Specifically Yankees baseball.
I don't remember I don't even remember what I was saying before Rob hopped his way back in here.
But yeah, Yankees baseball. So
yeah.
it's nice to only be a game back of the Rays. The problem is and they've gained ground over the last week. Problem is it's not nice when they lose 2 games in a row, and so do
We can't
we.
capitalize.
So like,
And it's sorry.
and I was gonna say it's even more frustrating when it's your 2 aces getting roughed up, no less. So
Yeah. But I'll be honest. So yesterday, I mean, the score of that was 9-4, I think.
Yeah.
But how much of that did you see much of that game? Because I know you worked yesterday.
yeah, I still watched it.
Okay. So that game, I mean, really these last 2 games, both of them, it was like it was like back and forth, but like a ping pong game, like the like 6 first, 7 or so innings. And
Yeah.
then whatever the hell happened, both of the last 2 games just got away from us at the very end. It
Yeah.
was I don't know what happened to Tim Hill the last week. I don't know what is going on with excuse me. It was, and like you said, it was uncharacteristic of Cam Schlittler. It was I, I give a little more leeway and a little more
Yeah.
I don't want to say pass, but a little more grace to Garrett Cole for obvious reasons. But it's before it gets to that point, and they needed to get ahead and capitalize on a couple of those opportunities earlier
Yeah.
on from an offensive level to not put all that pressure on those pitchers at the very end. Cam Schlittler cannot turn into sorry. It's Rob talking about the WNBA. Cam Schlittler cannot turn into the Jacob deGrom of this side of New York. He cannot be the guy who's going through and pitching his tail off every single time. And I mean, we've given him more run support at least than we've given Ryan Weathers, but
Yeah.
it's still you can't be relying on him to shoulder the whole load for this team.
And it's not just that, but like Schlittler, if you like, people see the 4 runs and think that he pitched, bad, and it's the same
I
thing
mean, it was
with
bad by
Cole.
his standards, but that doesn't mean he was
Yeah,
bad.
but it's like, but not for nothing. But if Rosario fields a simple ground ball on turns 2, the Yankees win that game. So like, Rosario making 2 boo-boos basically not feeling the ball at third to turn an easy double play, and then falling asleep at third base and not tying him
Rosario
up
was never a good fielder. That's the problem, and that was why I was not anxious, but that's why I had trepidations about bringing him in last year. I understand that he fit a need for us offensively, and he fit a need for what he was supposed to be, but he's a liability anywhere you put him in the field. I don't care that he can physically stand at any place in the outfield or any place on the field. So can I. Doesn't mean I can do anything.
Honestly, like I know that Rosario is a good bench bat. That's what he is.
Yes,
And that's the only thing he should ever be.
exactly.
So, like, Rosario is a great bench bat, a good clutch bat. You bring in late when you need a righty, especially because he hits lefties well. He just hits
Yeah.
kind of well in general. So he's fine if he's a bench bat. But when you've got him playing, and I get that, I get why he was playing yesterday because they don't want McMahon against a lefty. But even so, just for defensive reasons, I'd rather have McMahon in, even if it's a lefty, because Rosario
You and me
can't
both.
play defense.
Well,
So,
it's also because now we've got, for the first time in my life, we've got actually ground ball heavy pitchers in this pitching staff. So I need a defender at third base. I don't need my defender or my third baseman to be Alex Rodriguez with the bat if he's Nick freaking Castellanos with the glove.
yeah, and then the worst part is, if this is the best thing you've got going for you right now, I don't care if Spencer Jones can't hit. You need to bring him up again, because we still don't know when Stanton's coming back. You still don't, now we don't know about Judge. We'll see.
God, can we get into that next? Because oh dear God.
Yeah. So it's like, if you lose him for any amount of time, Spencer Jones has to come back up, because you cannot play Rosario. You can't play Caballero in right and Rosario at third. If you're gonna have Cabby, in the field, it either needs to be McMahon, Cabby, Jazz, and Rice, or Cabby, Volpe, Jazz, and Rice. It cannot be Rosario, Caballero or Rosario Volpe or Rosario Caballero or whatever it is, and you can't have Caballero playing in right. You just can't. You can't have either him or Rosario playing in right field. You cannot. You need so it's like at this point you've got to, if Aaron Judge is long term hurt, which means more than a month, you need to call Spencer Jones back up immediately.
The only alternative, and this is not the route I'm saying I would go. I'm just saying if for whatever reason they don't want to bring back up Spencer Jones yet. I wish it was Spencer Rice. It's like what I said last week with Gary Wells. I don't know why I keep doing that. The only alternative that I can see is, and I haven't checked his numbers at AAA in the last couple of days, is Oswaldo Cabrera can play right field. That is the only other name I can think of. That is the only other guy I can think of in-house that I would trust playing right field. Because that's the thing is, forget about the offensive output. That guy needs to be able to. I mean, we all know right field. You got to have that cannon. You got to have a hose. And I see some of these. I mean, what are we gonna do? Put Giancarlo Stanton there when he's back?
Oh God, yeah, you already don't want him running as is because that's how he got hurt in the first place. So, like,
we were so blissfully and naively hopeful in the very beginning when we saw him run second to home that one game.
Oh yeah, and steal second base a couple times, once or twice. Like,
oh my God,
it was like, oh my God,
that feels like a fever dream at this point.
Like it's like that's, you also got to think about it every year when the Yankees go through these tough spells, especially now we're in June. And
now we're in June.
Now we've lost the first 2 games of June, but this is when the injuries set in. But the problem is that every year our backup plans, it almost seems like the backup plans that we have are not even serviceable. Like Rosario is not a serviceable defensive third baseman. He's not a serviceable fielder, period. And then you got Caballero who can play different positions, but Caballero should not be moved out of the left side of the infield. That's where he is best suited. That's where he needs to stay. Like, and the thing is too, if you're gonna have Rosario and Cabby in the lineup, Caballero is the one that needs to play third base because he's better there. So I would honestly, I'll take my chances with Rosario and right if that's the case.
Can I bring up the elephant in the room here?
Yeah.
I genuinely now more than ever, with the conversations that we're having to have about the infield, I genuinely believe now more than ever in the next 3 months we're going to see George Lombard in New York.
Honestly, and the thing is, he's still. From last time I checked, which was about 2 weeks ago, he's still tearing the cover off the baseball in AAA.
So you saw that he got moved up to Scranton, right?
Yeah.
So he in the very beginning was doing awful offensively at Scranton. He's gotten a little bit better. I mean, his numbers still aren't great. He's hitting 200. His OPS is 673. But I mean, again, guy can play a really good short. Guy has the arm to play third. Like it, I know that we don't like doing this because we've seen it not work out well in the past.
Yeah.
But at what point do we just say, you know what? Our best third baseman defensively right now, or shortstop defensively right now, either one, might be George Lombard Jr.
And the thing is, at this point, damn well, especially if with all the injuries, damn well the Yankees aren't going to trade for a righty catcher and a third baseman. So, like,
well, it's just. Are you talking about simultaneously, or are you talking about just even getting both?
By the deadline, like if you're still having these problems, you're not going to trade for a righty catcher or really any good catcher and a third baseman. You're not going to do both. I don't think.
I don't entirely agree with you on that, but here's the scenario in which I could agree with you. It depends how much help they need in the bullpen by that point.
Yeah,
because this bullpen is so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it gives me a headache.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilsey says, do the Yanks make the postseason this year? I think something really bad would have to happen for that not to happen. I still think that this team is very much a contention for the AL East, and I still think that at minimum, they should be WC1. If this team doesn't make the postseason this year, I don't care how much I love him, how much I've defended him, Aaron Boone needs to go.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't care.
yeah.
I love Aaron Boone. I've defended him a lot more than most Yankees fans will. But if they don't make the postseason this year, then goodbye.
So honestly, to me, if they don't make the ALCS this year, it's goodbye. Like that's kind of just how
And you know
I
who I would go after, which is a sentence I never thought I would say 6 weeks ago. My
go
first
ahead.
call is to Alex Cora.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that's not popular, especially among Yankee fans,
Well,
but
you know
it's
what? A couple of years ago, I mean, what have people said in the past? They said this about Carlos Correa. They said this about Alex Bregman. They said, what's the best way for them to do penance? Come and play for New York and win here. I could say
yeah,
the same thing about Alex Cora, who was the co-relayer with Carlos Beltran of all that crap they were doing up there 9 years ago.
yeah, and like it's just the Yankees are still in a good spot. It's just frustrating, especially because Cleveland is a team that you usually own, and it's like, even when Aaron Judge in the lineup
Especially now
slumping,
when Ramirez is kind of on the back nine of his career.
it's crazy because Ramirez is another one of those guys, Yankee killer, Garrett Cole killer, like that's who he is. Like, it's the biggest problem I think I've had
Yeah.
in these two games so far. You got to salvage the series tomorrow, but the biggest problem I've had with these first two games, and
Yeah.
honestly, it falls a little bit on the it, to me, it's the battery, it's the catching and the pitching, just because I've seen and Cam Schindler and Garrett Cole are very smart pitchers, but
Oh yeah.
Austin Wells so far has been the one calling the pitches, and then that's why you're seeing 2 seconds later 2-run home run. Like, I'm sorry, you cannot, especially against a team that all season has been one of the worst at hitting 95 plus miles an hour.
Yeah.
Literally, the Cleveland cannot hit a fastball to save their life. So
Yeah.
why in God's name are you throwing them breaking ball after breaking ball? And why are you throwing breaking balls inside to lefties who could just turn on it and short porch it? Like, I don't understand this is why I say that. This is why my hate for all, I used to love Austin Wells, but this is why I've grown to hate him, because
Well,
it seems like
sorry.
because it just seems like all the things that he was good at, especially 2 years ago, have just
Yeah.
gone down the drain completely.
Well, that's
Like,
increasing. I mean, that's increasingly true. I mean, I still think his blocking has been good, but
yeah,
his ability to throw guys out has gone down. His pitch framing we talked about last week is still in the top, but how long is that going to become, or how long is that going to be as effective with the increase of ABS? And
yeah.
lest we forget, today was what game? Who had the game today behind the plate?
Austin Wells.
No,
Oh, no, okay.
no. Umpire.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that.
This was the last Diaz game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see who it was. I was watching it, but I didn't see who it was.
Who I'm pretty sure has single-handedly made about 50% of the arguments for ABS in the first place.
Well, that actually now that I think about it, that makes sense, because there was actually, it was an Austin Wells at bat, believe it or not even him behind the plate. It was an Austin Wells at bat where it was late in the game. We lost both our challenges. He called a strike that was 6 inches outside the zone. I was like, oh my God, man.
I know.
Like, that's
I know. And did you have the commentary on or no?
No. Oh, yeah, but it was low.
Because they literally said, Laz Diaz special is basically what they said. I'm paraphrasing, but they basically said that.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's
him and Dan Iasonia need to get out.
Yeah, I'm fine if an umpire misses a few calls, but the thing is, I get missing it by an inch or two. But when these guys are calling pitches 6 inches or more, or not even 4 inches or more off the plate for strikes, that's too much. It's just, you cannot call a pitch that's clearly off the plate in the other batter's box for a strike. You just can't.
At this point, and I was one of the last people to be on board, quote unquote, with the robot umps, or whatever you want to say. What umps do you guys like? My favorite ump is not even allowed to be an umpire anymore. Brandon, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Say again.
I said, go ahead.
Yeah, Pat Holberg is one of the best umps that I've seen. unfortunately, he's not allowed to ump anymore because he had what was it? I know it was something with gambling, but what was it?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was something like that. But like, and then for me, like, I mean, he's not the best. He's not the best, but I still like him more than a lot of others. I like, even though he is controversial at times, but I don't think he's that bad as people make him seem to be. Is Hunter Wendelstedt? I don't think he's.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that bad.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I mean, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought that there was a glitch in the system or the sound.
no, go ahead. I was basically just talking about him.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
it's like I can think of times where I have not seen a great game from him, but I can literally think of that with anybody. But Pat Hellberg, Alan Porter has been another really good one. Will Little is one of the best that I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Quinn Wolcott's another one. Those are the ones I can really think of. I'm sure I could think of more if I gave it more time, but those are Todd Tishner is another good one.
Yeah, I've had my beef with him a few, but he is on the better end of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Great question. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was actually, I think that was from Rob.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of just. We got a hi earlier. I don't. I've never seen his name before, but Dandis Meow 34 on YouTube said hi to us. So hello to the new person. I hope you're doing well, and thanks again for tuning in. We always appreciate new people joining the show.
I never know when we get like bots versus real people, because so many bots now have like names like that, where I'm like,
well, but bots are normally saying either really bizarre stuff or just the way that they're phrasing things. I can tell that it's a bot. Like just saying hi typically is not a bot thing, that in my experience.
Yeah.
And I know actually one of somebody that I know was going to try and watch the show tonight, so I wonder if that was them.
Yeah.
But anyway, how did we get there?
Basically, we were still talking about like umpiring and then
because we were talking about the game. We talked about the game tonight, but yeah, you were talking about Austin Wells, and we'll mention this right now. So, we haven't talked about this yet because it only emerged in the last couple of days. But the Yankees are trying to make a deal to get a right-handed catcher in, as you have been pounding the table for. Before the trade deadline, which is not for another 2 months almost. I imagine that they would try and do this sooner than later, but obviously the market typically stays slow until around the later than usual. It's closer to around the All-Star break and after now because of the expanded postseason and the later trade deadline. So, but they are trying to do that. Their top two targets, from what I've heard, and this is according to Joel Sherman, was kind of the main one who reported this, was the number one was Ryan Jeffers, the catcher from Minnesota. Yeah. And the second one was Adley Rutschman, the catcher from the Orioles. Now, before people write off the in-division thing with Adley Rutschman, I want to remind everybody that the Orioles are actually one of the top trade partners with the Yankees that the Yankees have made deals with over the past decade or so. So that's like the one team that the Yankees do a surprising number of deals with, even though they're in division. So clearly there seems to be a good relationship between Brian Cashman and Mike Elias. So
yeah, and you know what, from what I remember too, just about what Adley, Jeffers, I'm not sure about the defensive measures, but I know offensively he's obviously really good.
Right.
But Adley's got a little bit of both. Like he's not as offensively, well, he was at one point, but now that he's getting into his later 20s, he's still an above average hitting catcher.
Yeah.
And the thing is, defensively, he's still really good. So, at least from what I remember.
So for what I can say about Jeffers, love his offensive profile. He's kind of the guy. He's kind of one of the catchers where love his offensive profile, can live with the defense. Is kind of what I would say about him. He would absolutely be a defensive downgrade from Wells, Trevino, the guys that we've had the last few years. Yeah. But he would not nowhere nearly. That was not a sentence. But he would be nowhere near as much of a detriment defensively as Gary Sanchez was, even when he was good as hitting, even though that feels about a million years ago. Mr. Wiltsey, anytime. Glad to be able to be a small part of everything.
I know. I know Adley still has the offensive numbers for the most part. Like, even though it's not what it used to be 2 or 3 years ago, I know he still has the numbers for the most part. I know that, and from what I remember, defensively, he's still one of the better catchers in the league.
So Adley is kind of the reverse of what I just said about Jeffers. Adley is he's cream of the crop fielding wise, and he's not as much of an offensive, but he's having his best offensive season so far this year. His 258 batting average is his highest in the last 3 years. OBP 340 up, same, and his slugging is almost 500, which blows past what he's averaged really through most of his major league career. So,
and for a catcher, he's fast. So
good point. He
has his moments where he can actually fly around the bases. He's not a catcher that goes really station to station when running. He can go first to third, second to home, first to home in some cases if the ball's hitting the gap. So he's got a little bit.
I'll be honest. I know that they've been, and I'm sure this is true, that Ryan Jeffers is considered their number one target. If I had to pick one of these two guys, I'd rather have Adley Rutschman.
That's what me too.
I'd rather have Adley Rutschman. Because, you know how I am. I'm a defense first catching type of guy. But also just and I don't like thinking this way, but I just think that Adley Rutschman just has more name cachet.
Yeah.
And I think just knowing that you're bringing in Adley Rutschman, who was an untouchable guy for several years, I just think that says so much to a clubhouse and so much to a locker room. Mr. Wiltsey says, has Baltimore been good in a while? Are we talking about the NFL yet? But in all seriousness, Baltimore was, so they were very good for most of the 2010s. They had that 1 year in 2018, I think it was, and they bottomed out 105 or 107 losses, fired Buck Showalter. Kind of made a bit of a resurgence in the earlier part of this decade, but they've really never been able. It's been pitching pitching's been their bugaboo, and then you mix being unable to really get your pitching down with now having your position players in the last 2 years pretty much all flatline in development, whether that was Mountcastle, whether that was Henderson, that was Rutschman for a period of time, whether that was Westberg.
You had Cedric Mullins there.
Cedric Mullins was there for a little bit. Connor Norby, they ended up was it Connor Norby or Kobe Mayo? One of them they ended up giving to the Marlins for a tuna sandwich.
No, they still have Mayo, so no, it's not.
Okay, then it was Connor Norby, I guess. I'm trying to remember I don't remember the exact details, but anyway, they basically had the sort of nightmare rebuild scenario where they had gone all in on their young guys all in on their prospects, and basically not as bad as the Chicago White Sox went, but essentially saw them all plateau and all flatline. And what is going on over there?
I had to plug in my phone. So.
All plateau and all flatline simultaneously. Did you guys see the home run the Rockies got off the outfielder's forehead?
Wasn't that Joe Adele? It went off his forehead, or hit off his head and over the fence. I think it was yesterday.
That was not. I missed that somehow. Somehow.
I believe it was Joe Adele, and Joe Adele's like the one guy where it's
like, it was Joe Adele, and it was the funniest home run I've ever seen in my entire life. It was so good, man.
How does that even happen?
Can we pull up a clip of it?
We'd be banned by MLB. But that being said, but the funniest part about it, where's my glove? Oh, it's over there. Basically, it hit like this part of his hand and bounced off. It was hilarious. And of course, it was Joe Adele. Joe Adele has done one good thing 1 week, and he becomes the butt of the joke next week, like the Angels are anyway.
Oh,
it was so funny, man. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
That outfield must be cursed because Jordan Adams, Joe Adele, any outfielder I can think of the last several years who has even tried to play center field for the Angels just becomes cursed to the most bizarre degree imaginable.
And I mean, man, didn't we also see a thing where that happened with
Shit.
was it Jose Canseco, where he had a ball bounce off his head over the wall for a homer or something like that? He
I
it was
have no idea.
it was in a Yankee game, I believe, but I forget who it was. But this happened like 30 years ago, or more than
Yeah, I
that.
wasn't alive then.
Whatever it was. But well, obviously we weren't. But it's like I listen, as someone who obviously used to play baseball,
Yeah.
I can track a fly ball now. I couldn't when I was a little leaguer. But the thing is, as you
Oh,
get
I couldn't
older,
either.
but as you get older, you get better at it. I still, wonder sometimes how major leaguers who are paid millions of dollars still can't track a fly ball half the time. And I'm like, guys, this is like I get
There are
this
scenarios in which I can understand it. If you there's cases where like you'll lose it in the sun, and there's cases where, in the case of that stupid ass catwalk over in Tropicana
God. Yeah.
Tropicana Field, which I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if many Rays fans were disappointed when the Hurricane took that thing down.
Honestly, yeah, and we were supposed to get a new stadium, and it never happened.
But yeah, thanks Stuart Sternberg for that.
Yeah.
But at any event, it's just so that there are scenarios in which I can understand it. But I mean, how many times have we watched? It's like left field in Yankee Stadium. We have seen some of horrible route running in that. Whether it was Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks, Jason Dominguez, like. It makes what makes me have is immense more respect and I already had it, but immense more respect for one guy, Brett Gardner.
Yeah.
Because he did it pristinely for a decade, and everyone else makes it look like the hardest thing to do in baseball.
And he did it at all three outfield positions. So, it's like Brett Gardner, Brett Gardner was one of those guys where it's like, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Like we didn't know how.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Like he was a fan favorite, and we all loved him when he was here, but like he didn't get enough love for how important he was for so long to the Yankees. And I'm
gonna get Scoop to watch it. And by the way, it was Canseco. I found the Canseco clip as well. But I'm gonna get Scoop to watch the Joe Adele thing right now. I want his live reaction to this thing. Make sure your audio's off, but watch it. It's
I have my audio off. Hang on.
I gotta get him. I gotta get a live. This is such bad content, but I gotta get it. It's too great.
Let's go.
You can curse. It's late at night.
How the does that happen? It looks like remember that game in 20? I think it was 2020, where the ball it was the opening series in whatever country. The ball literally went through the guy's glove. That looks like what happened there. I mean, I can tell that it didn't, but that looks like what happened there.
I listen,
Donk.
I don't know, but
we need to get Brian. We need to get Brian Wilson, the former closer for the Dodgers and the Giants. To go, got him.
Yeah, geez. Oh yeah, and then Rob, if you can, please send Scoop the Canseco one too, because the Canseco.
Oh no, they're stacked. They're stacked.
They're stacked together. I found you can. Yeah. I sent it to you too, Brandon. They're stacked together, and they're pretty comparable, actually. Funny enough.
Yeah, the Canseco one's funny too. I laugh at that one all the time when they show it.
It is astonishingly similar, actually.
Yeah.
Like to a bizarre degree.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Like, but that's what I mean.
That's got to be the most Angels thing I've ever seen.
Like, I don't mean when guys lose balls in the lights or in the sun, because everybody goes through that when playing baseball. It's just the ones like that, though. I'm like, how the hell does that happen?
The cans of corn.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, it's like that's why last year, when we were talking about how good Cody Bellinger was last year, and we were like, oh yeah, like why, what? Like I still don't. To this day, and even I swear to God, this year, if the Yankees are in a real good spot by the end of the season, whatever it is, if Cody Bellinger is not a Gold Glove finalist in left field, I will track down whoever.
Why are you still holding out hope for that stupid awards? I don't give a damn about any of those awards anymore. I'll be honest.
I think it's it's my I just in my mind, I'm like, oh, if I don't have if we don't get something, then we're leaving here with something. But Cody Bellinger being robbed last year of even a nomination for Gold Glove is wild to me. And it's like this
Yeah.
year, quite literally by every metric, he's the best defensive left fielder in baseball by a
Yes.
mile. So
Yes.
if he's not on that list, and honestly, if he continues to play this way, if he doesn't win that award,
Yes.
I might just go to MLB headquarters and literally find whoever it is, just punch him straight in the face because it's ridiculous.
Speaking of awards, not speaking of punching people in the face, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this, but Major League Baseball, because we're okay, so uh, took the words right out of my mouth essentially, because I was just about to get to the fact that today we got the notifications that our team's All-Star voting is opening. So I thought it'd be interesting, and you can tell me if you think this is too early or whatnot. But I was going to give you a few names and see what you thought about whether these guys on New York are currently should get All-Star votes. Not would you vote for them as a fan, but should they get All-Star votes?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull this up real quickly. The first phase doesn't end until June 25th, which makes sense. And honestly, I don't actually do my quote unquote real ballot until several weeks later. I like it making it as close to the game as close to the All-Star week as possible.
Don't lie. Yeah.
But so first base, the obvious Yankee nominee for this one is Ben Rice. I think we both have an obvious answer to that one.
It's not even yes, he should be the starter in that game.
I quite frankly, be honest, respect to everybody else on here, I don't know why there's anybody else on this list. Second base, similarly, in my opinion, similarly obvious, but for much different reasons. Jazz Chisholm Jr., Brandon, All-Star or not?
No, but he will be because the second base pool is so limited. That
you know what's hilarious? Yes, it's so limited, and yet he still has one of the worst OPSs on this list.
Yeah, which is insane. But it's like I think defensively he leads in a bunch of metrics. I think those are no.
That's one thing is that this MLB.com where it has all the players with. Can you put some defensive metrics on here, please?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like should he? No. Will he? Probably, because it's just the second base pool is just so limited. So.
Right. Shortstop, Jose Caballero.
Yes.
Yep, I agree.
I don't have to think about that one. Yes, he's one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball this year, and he's literally getting multi-hit games every other game at this point. So
and you know what's hilarious? I'm sorry. I just love that we have an asshole on the team now.
Yeah.
I just love that he's I don't care if it's umpires, I don't care if it's the other team. I just love that we have somebody that's pissing off other people. I don't know why, but I love it. And I'm not even going to bother reading the catchers. I'm not going to bother reading this one outfielder. Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
Yep. And this other one, I feel like you could go either way with this one. Trent Grisham.
No, because he's struggling. Because A, he's struggled for such a long time, and B, the defensive numbers are so down.
Agreed.
It looks bad defensively. So yeah, no.
Agreed. And this, unfortunately, I feel like is going to be obvious, but just to mention it, Giancarlo Stanton for designated hitter.
He was healthy, yeah.
That's the thing is his numbers are not going to be there because he just keeps getting banged up. Yeah. Obviously, they don't do pitchers, but I think we both can agree on this. Cam Schlittler should be at least in the final, like at least one of the last guys considered for starting pitching of that starting that game.
Yeah, but it's like all the what's funny though? The way I look at Cam Schlittler right now versus like all the other great pitchers across the league on both sides is like, Cam Schlittler to me right now feels like how the Eagles felt in 2024, where it's like the AFC has a bunch of has Mahomes, has Burrow, has Jackson, has Allen. Like the NL this year has so many great pitchers up for Cy
Oh,
Young.
okay, I got you now.
Where it's like in the AL, it's Cam Schlittler and then everyone else. So like, well, Nick Martinez maybe, but it's only those two guys. So like, really, like Schlittler to me, regardless of what happened yesterday, should still be. And it's going to happen. He's not going to be perfect every game. So
Of course,
Schlittler
Cam
should still
Schlittler
be
has a 1.89 ERA even after that yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, he should. To me, he should be the AL starter.
Agreed. I know that, and again, of course, it's a little bit different the way that they do relief pitching, but just for shits and giggles, any relievers from this team you'd put on the roster?
I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm not reading every name in this bullpen.
I'll give you guys that you can make cases for. I don't think there's any definites, but I think there's guys you can make cases for. You can make a case for Brent Hedrick.
Yep, that was the first one I was going to say. I didn't know if you were going to give me him or not.
Yeah, you can make a case for Brent Hedrick, and I think up until the last couple games, you could make a case easily for Tim Hill. But
what's crazy is right now, according to WAR at least, Tim Hill's the worst pitcher in our bullpen.
Yeah,
that's how bad he's been.
It's just like the WAR is so weird. Like WAR for me as like a relief pitcher is kind of weird because there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But like when you talk about up until the last really the last week, up until the last week of baseball, Tim Hill has been our best reliever. Like
that's why relief stats in general are so volatile. It's so hard to.
Yeah. But those are really the only two guys I think you can make a case for. I don't think you can make a case. Fernando Cruz has been too inconsistent. When he's been good, he's good. When he's bad, he's bad. Bednar, same thing, inconsistency. Now Bednar, if he didn't have the last couple weeks, the last few games a week or so ago where he was just blowing game after game, then you could have made a case for him. But no, not now, and definitely not Doval. Definitely not obviously Yarborough or Blackburn. Duh. So the only ones you really make a case for in that bullpen is Hedrick and Hill.
Yeah, I think I would largely agree with you. I'm torn on Bednar because pardon me, 1 second. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze, and I really didn't want to do that on there. But going back to what I was going to say, David Bednar, it's tough because I have so much confidence that he's going to snap out of whatever this last week or two have been.
Yeah.
Like everything numerically, eye test, everything shows me and tells me that he's going to snap out of it. And you've said this too, and I'm saying that I agree with you. Unfortunately, expected metrics and what you've actually done, if there's a gap there, you have to go with what you've actually done. Expected metrics are great for certain things, like you and I have both said. One of those things is for projecting performance, but the All-Star game is not about projected performance; it's about actual performance. It's about recorded performance. So unfortunately, even though I think he is going to end up having a season where we look back and say, wow, he should have been an all-star, I think, unfortunately, he's running out of time to actually bank that in. I do agree with you on Hedrick. I was hoping you were going to say him. I still, frankly, think that Fernando Cruz deserves some conversation. And even though I hate the win-loss statistic for pitchers, having 3 pitcher wins as a reliever that's not a closer is very impressive to me. And aside from the fact that he's also got a 2.19 ERA, and I'll throw out one other thing as well that sticks out to me. His fastball averages 93 miles an hour. This guy is not coming out and dicing you up with the high heat like most relievers are. Yeah, but he is an effective pitcher. If I say that too fast, it's like I'm saying ineffective pitcher, but he is an effective pitcher even without giving you the gas. So, but yeah, I think we're largely in agreement on that. But do we have anything else on the All-Star? Do we want to go forward into the obvious news of the day that we're going to get to?
Yeah, I would say go to that because
Yeah.
that also kind of leads into the whole All-Star thing because you can't mention the All-Star game without the
Without,
capping. So
yeah, because I didn't mention, the one outfielder I didn't obviously mention was Aaron Judge because I don't know anybody who would say he's not an All-Star. I don't think even Boston fans would say he's not an All-Star.
even in a down year so far, he's still better than 99% of right fielders and all that stuff. So
I don't know if you made that number choice ironically or not, but I respect it.
yeah, no, I was kind of doing it both ways. I was like,
Yeah,
because his number, but
yeah.
also because it's true. Like,
Yeah, it's just true. But so for anybody who hasn't seen the updates on what's happened, because Aaron Judge has missed the last 2 games, was not in the lineup, dealing with a bone bruise. There was seemingly conflicting reports yesterday about whether the bone bruise was localized to his rib cage or his shoulder. My understanding is that it's kind of where that subscapular area meets your rib cage, so it's kind of like right up in there, and that sort of, so kind of both are accurate. It just sort of ended up being or phrased differently, but it really was saying largely the same thing. But he went for tests yesterday. Unfortunately, those tests did not give the Yankees as clear of a diagnosis as they would like. So he has gone on to have more testing, and they're going to hope to have a further and more clear situation on what's going on, or definition on what's going on tonight or tomorrow, more likely tomorrow. But they had been hoping, I think, really by yesterday, that they were going to have the information. But for whatever reason, and I think the Yankees have handled this smartly in terms of a PR vantage point, because we know time and again over the last few years, whether it was under Steve Donahue, whether it was under Tim Lintic, that this training staff has been criticized time and again for giving out overzealous and too optimistic timetables, and then basically looking like they were either dishonest or incompetent or both, because players typically take longer. And that's become an ongoing thing among Yankees fans and just among New York media in general. So I'm glad that they have, I don't want to say been cagey about this, but they've been conservative as to what they've shared and when, and they clearly want to have the most information possible before they say anything. And I respect that. I know people are going to get antsy and be, cricketing their legs a little bit because of the fact that we don't have answers yet, but I'd rather have the right answers than the fast answers. It's like you and I always talk about with journalism, and same with Rob, if he's still back there, is, you'd rather be second and right than, first and wrong.
Yeah.
But so this all being said, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, we kind of alluded to it when we talked about Cabby and Jones and Cabrera and whomever, but not necessarily just playing right field longer term. But if he misses at any extent, if he has to go to the 10-day IL or misses even longer, basically who has to step up? I mean, I know obviously the obvious answer is everybody, but who really has to step up? And I don't want to say fill that role, because nobody's going to be Aaron Judge. I'm surprised Aaron Judge is even Aaron Judge. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like who has to really, come up and grab it by the balls for them to be able to move forward with even remotely the same offensive production.
I'm not worried about Belly and Rice, because those are your two best. Well, really, Belly, Rice, and Cabby to a degree are really your three best guys right now in this lineup.
Yeah.
But just in terms of just how well they can just they can give you 1, 2, 3 hits a game, and they all have competitive at bats, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not looking at those three, because those three are the obvious ones. But I think if anyone has to really step up, it's going to be the guys that would bat around where Judge is at that 2-3 spot. So basically, the guys that would be in front of Judge and behind Judge if he were healthy. So a Trent Grisham, he needs to find some semblance of the form he had last year, because you just need it. We can't do this thing where he's going to have a 3-hit game and then have 3 straight games where he doesn't get a single hit, get on baseball.
Right.
and then on top of that, just the way he tracks a ball in the outfield is just getting worse and worse by the day. So I don't understand.
Painful.
He's a guy that I'm just getting really tired with because I'm like, how the hell do you go from having a great year last year, and you're still technically playing for another contract because it's only a 1-year deal, and you're playing
Right.
this bad. So, or at least this bad for the most part of the season so far. So he's a guy that needs to step up.
Yep.
And I think obviously just to lengthen that lineup somewhat, you need. I mean, Jazz has been getting better, but the thing is that Jazz is another one where we can't have this streakiness where it's going to be him having a 2-for-4 game with a home run and a double, and then the next 4 games it's 0-for-4, 0-for-5, and nothing at the plate. Out of that 5 or 6 spot. So, like those are the 2 guys for me that if Judge is going to be out, you need 2025 Trent Grisham, at least half of that, because he's not giving you really any of it right now. And you need basically, I guess, what, not 50-50, Jazz Chisholm, that was never going to happen. But you need basically that 30-30 guy you had last year when he was at his peak. So, because if you don't get that, it's going to be tough sledding. You cannot ask Bellinger, Rice, and Cabby to carry that load. Like the bottom half of the lineup's been bad for XYZ, number of reasons this whole year so far for different reasons.
Yeah.
But the 2 guys near the top of the lineup that have been, that have been there for most of the season that have not done anything is Jazz and Trent. Those are your 2 guys to me that it's like if you're going to do anything substantial, if Judge misses even a month, if you need to get to the All-Star break without him, those 2 guys need to do something, because if they don't, you don't really have another option. You don't. Dominguez is hurt. Jones is down in AAA, but Jones, when he was up here, it's going to take him a while to get used to the speed of the game at this level. So you don't really want to have him going out there while he's still trying to figure out the game. You don't want him going out there and going 0-for-4 with 3 strikeouts. So, right. It's really tough because you've almost backed yourself into a corner where if those guys don't step up, you could fade away pretty fast. So, because they just don't have another option. You're not going to go out at the trade deadline and God forbid if these injuries pile up, you're not going to go out at the trade deadline and get an outfielder, especially a good one. You're just not gonna. And you gotta hope. Basically, this almost feels like the inverse of what we were saying when the season started. When can the Yankees tread water without their starting pitchers? Now it's, can you tread water without your best player? Because we've seen time and time again over the years that Judge has been healthy the last few years, but when he does go down, whether it's for a week or a couple games or a week or even a week and a half, like it was at one point last year, that team in that little week to 2 week period looked god awful. It was god awful. So without him, you need, I don't want to see Trent Grisham giving a half-ass effort in the outfield like he's been doing. I don't want to see Jazz Chisholm giving a half-ass effort at the plate. Basically, if Trent Grisham, I'm not even at this point, because his hitting's been so bad up until the last week or so. If you can just even give me somewhat okay hitting, but get back to good defensive Trent Grisham, that's at least something better.
That's how I feel.
So it's like those 2 guys to me, now is not the time, especially with Jazz. Now is not the time to be going on, Jimmy Fallon saying we're going to win the World Series and all this stuff. No, if we're going to win the World Series, you better be a reason why we get there, because we can't have this shit from him while Judge is hurt. We can't have this garbage from him going 0-for-4, 0-for-5, 1-for-5 with 3 strikeouts. No. You need to be hitting 2 and 3 hits a game. You need to pick it up.
He got 1 homer today. He got 1 homer today and acted like he had hit 4 in his last 5 games.
Yeah. I got to ask this question.
Oh boy.
I understand New York media and I get this, but that sounds like a PR disaster, putting him on a late night show in the middle of the season for no
Jazz is a
reason.
walking PR disaster.
It's such a dumb
then-
PR decision. Whoever in the
worst thing-
Yankees decided that this was a good idea
I-
deserves to get fired.
I don't
Because I
know.
genuinely
And-
don't know
like,
why they
have
decided
you-
to do it.
Like, have we learned nothing from the last 17 times that Jazz has opened his mouth? Why the hell is he the guy you're putting on that talk show? Why is that the one you put out there?
Why is he there? Like,
I don't
Like,
know.
you're just asking for the Guardians the Guardians play-by-play guys to hate on him.
I thought you were about to
say.
say the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, where the hell does that come from?
It feels like that, doesn't it?
That's what we're gonna need. That's what we're
I don't
gonna
know. I
need
haven't
to
seen
do.
it.
That's what we're gonna need if Aaron Judge goes down for a significant period of time. We're gonna need the Guardians of the Galaxy to save our ass.
Star-Lord.
Oh God, I just.
Oh my
I,
god. There
But,
was no
no,
reason from any PR. That was the worst PR decision you could have had. Out of all the bad PR
So-
that the Yankees have
so
done all
Brandon-
year, that was the worst one.
So Brandon, I mean, you know more about journalism in this regard than I would. So, so would they have gone to? And I mean the people at the whatever show it was. So would they have gone to Jazz directly about that? Would they have gone to someone like
No.
a Jason? Would they have gone
No.
to Jason's? Would they have gone to like
It's the
Jason
Yankees
Zillow?
PR.
And
Sorry, Scoop. It's the Yankees PR department.
Yeah.
Whoever leads their PR department
Yeah.
gets the request, and
that's what I
then
was
they
trying to ask
relay it
Brandon
to an
was-
agent and a player.
yeah,
is
so
who?
they would have
Yeah,
probably
I
gone to like a
apologize.
Jason Zillow type of like
Yeah,
a Jason
la-
Zillow type of person.
the,
Brandon.
the last person to find about it is the person going on the talk show.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I
So,
apologize
yeah.
for interrupting, Scoop. It's just this very elongated process, basically. It goes
Yeah.
through like 5 channels before it goes to the
see,
guy.
that's what makes that so bad. Is that how the hell does it go through that many channels and you pick
Well,
it's Jazz Chisholm on the other side of it?
Well, that's what I wanted to know is. So that's not
No,
one
no.
person who.
But that's the point, though. Jazz, they requested Jazz. I know. I could
I
tell
know.
you they requested him.
I know that.
But then his agent said yes to it. Why? Like even his agent saying yes to it, I don't understand. Like
okay,
he's the
well,
last one to know before Jazz.
what's even worse than that to me, because the agent only has 2 people to account for or to be accountable for, Jazz and himself.
exactly.
What's worse than that to me is that at least one person, maybe more, with the Yankees approve that.
5 people. It goes through like at least 4 or 5. Even Aaron Boone has to approve it. Someone in his department has to approve that. So
Yeah, that's-
they approved it. Everyone down the line approved that, which I don't understand.
And you know what the weirdest thing is too is that, and then you got people pushing back and saying, oh well, what Jazz said is what you want players say. Oh, we're gonna win the World Series. Yeah, when they're on the field and when they're
In the
playing
middle
well.
of June,
But-
the
but
beginning
you
of June.
Does he not remember that he did almost this exact same thing last year?
Yeah.
Wait, he went on
and
a
he went
talk
on-
show and did this?
Yeah.
No, not a talk
No.
show, but he made statements
prediction.
about we're gonna
Yeah.
go win the World Series
Oh
in like
yeah,
August.
it was all over on Fox. I remember how
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
that was.
And the here's the thing too is you got people who don't understand PR. They're like, oh, well, what do you want them to say? I'm like, no. What a responsible player and athlete should say is they should downplay it and say, oh, well, we got a bunch of good guys in the locker room, et cetera, et cetera. We feel confident. Don't sit there and make a guarantee like Joe Namath and say we're gonna go win it.
And that's part of the problem. A player like Jazz has his own personal PR department that's like, hey, don't say this. Be careful to say that. And I just think he ignores them.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have one, maybe, because he should.
He
Because
seems like the kind of person who would have them and just not care.
yeah, he just doesn't care.
Like Jay, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. I know you're a big Jazz fan. I am sorry. I don't want him back after this season.
I don't think I don't think any Yankees fan wants him
Don't ever
back.
call me a Knicks fan.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what the problem is with Jazz though, and it's like we all don't want him back, but it's like this is how bad the second base talent pool is, where it's like he's the one leading in WAR right now among second basemen.
Who could you
He's
trade him
number-
for anyway? His value went down the drain the last
I don't
6
even
months.
know. we actually might even be stuck with him because we don't have. Well, you know what? Actually, no, we might not be because your infield would have to be what Lombard at third, Cabby at short, and Volpe at second.
I
That
have
would be
no
your
problem
infield?
with that at all.
That would be your infield in 2027.
I have no problem with that at all.
I genuinely find bad PR so funny. And we're getting it like every week now.
And we're getting it.
It's so good.
And if you follow the Yankees enough, you get it from Jazz almost once a month.
What's a
Like
Once a month is generous.
What I
generous.
also wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the
Also,
other
I don't know
piece.
where you're seeing that he's leading in WAR. He's 10th in WAR at second base.
I think it's dropped. I think it was like last week or two, whatever it was. It was something like that.
The other thing is something that Scoop mentioned. What if I think it was Jimmy Kimmel? Jesus, Scoop. What if Jimmy
Good night,
Kimmel?
Mr. Wiltsey. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. What if they went to the Yankees PR department and said, "Hey, who's available on this day? We'll take whoever you have. We'll take Aaron." I mean,
You
Aaron's
just
probably
said that they would have
right. But
maybe
what
the
if?
Jazz.
What if that's what happened and they decided, "Hey, we're gonna put Jazz out there"? I'm just wondering, what if that happened?
Okay, well, so that's not what you had said before, but
I'm just saying if that was the case. I don't think it's likely, but if it was the case.
So if it's this different scenario, then someone needs to get fired.
Well, are you telling me Jazz was the only available player that could have taken that slot?
Maybe because the other ones are actually practicing.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like, but like, you mean to tell me that you couldn't get Cody Bellinger? You couldn't
Cody would have been awesome.
Cody Bellinger would have been awesome. Cody Bellinger would have been great. Hell, you could have even gotten the hottest player in the American League this year. You could have gotten Ben Rice.
Oh, but Ben Rice doesn't move the needle for ABC.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't. Nobody who watches the Tonight Show on a daily basis knows who Ben Rice is. I'm sorry.
Then they need to learn. They need to learn ball.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't.
But
Here's
Brandon,
the big problem with the Tonight Show. The people, and I'm not saying everyone. Okay, I'm not saying everyone, but the majority of people that watch these late night shows don't know who these people are. I'm sorry.
Because they're 80 and they grew up with the Joe DiMaggio and all that kind of Yankees.
Hey, Rob, you know what I call that? NMFP.
What does that mean?
Not my problem.
That is true. It's not your problem until it is your problem when your player goes out in the middle. First off, why does MLB allow players to be available for a late night show in the middle of the season, regardless if it's pre-taped or not? There's no they tape it the day before, the day of. Why are they allowing them to go do tapes?
Brandon,
I don't understand that.
Brandon, can we agree that if anybody was going to go do this, it should have been Cam Schlittler?
That would have been great.
Yeah,
that actually would have been amazing.
But then also
at least I trust him to focus enough.
No, but see, Cam Schlittler is like the Terminator. Like, I could see him going on that show and just like literally zoning in on the question and being like giving you like deadpan answers.
Yeah, you're like
no. The other one, I can't believe I didn't even think of this. Jose Caballero.
Oh my God! Yeah, because you like
he would get thrown off the show.
You know what Cabby would do as they're counting down from coming back from commercial? He would point out, hey, 8 seconds. He didn't lock eyes with me.
It's me before the show. Hey, wait.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go, do you guys want to see the dumbest thing that happened in my state today?
Is this? Yeah, I think I know what this is. So
yeah,
I have no idea. So go ahead.
What
are they doing in the Pacific Northwest now?
Something that would be done in New Jersey is the best way to frame this situation.
Something that would be done in New Jersey. Okay, so does this involve angry drivers?
It involves a driver. You're good. You're close. Okay, so just to lay the scene here, right? We have talked. Brandon and I have talked a lot about our transit system, and rightfully so. It's we're getting to the World Cup next week. We're really kind of zoning in on how It's going to affect not just our areas, but across the board, right? We're not just talking U.S., we're talking Canada, even Mexico to an extent, but just, our areas. This is what is happening. So just to lay out the groundwork here. So our light rail system is above the highway, above the freeway. It's like pretty high up.
Yes.
I've shown you guys photos of it. You guys seen on What's the Scoop social media just how high up, that
Vaguely.
light rail system is.
I'd be lying if I said I remembered it all that well, but yes.
I'm just saying it's high, right? Like you're not on a highway. You're higher than the highway. This is not a weed thing, just what it is. I'm trying.
You knew exactly where my brain went.
Yeah,
I'm trying. Seattle, for God's sake.
420.
I am trying to. This sounds like a 420 thing. So somebody, and thank you to our Cairo station here with a great report on this. So somebody decided somehow, some way, or somehow, which I'll explain how.
Somehow is interesting.
To drive on it. Look at this. She somehow drove onto it.
Okay, but can we back up for a second?
Yes.
Why, when you said that, look at this, why did you say like Bon Scott?
Because this is pissing me off. I'm trying to figure out how this is even remotely possible. I don't even understand how she's supposed to get on the thing because there's like no access point for the car to get on the trail, to get on. It doesn't make sense.
I'm trying to both look at this in that level of detail, but my brain still can't get past the fact that you sound like you were going to start singing "You Shook Me All Night Long."
Because, dude, I'm just trying to figure out. Because again, as I've said,
I'm sorry for getting this close to the camera.
No, it's fine. I'll zoom in a little closer for you if I can. But basically, my issue with this whole thing. So not Brandon, I can't see you. Are you there?
I'm here.
You went off camera for some reason.
I'm here. I'm just looking for something to make a point to add on to this.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, this should be good.
So here's the thing, okay? It's not I think this is actually a Nevada license plate. I didn't see that earlier. So the access point is one thing. I don't know how she can get on to the light. It's impossible. And now I have not been to the Mount Baker station, but I've been to stations just closer to the Seattle area than Mount Baker is because, it's a mountain. It's farther away, way farther away than, the metro Seattle area. So that part I don't understand. The second part I don't understand is her response to the police or whoever, the security people, is the GPS told me to go through here. Well, okay, first off, I can't believe that. No matter if you use Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever, Waze, I don't know. There's no GPS. And I know this for a fact because I use GPS to walk. I man the GPS as a passenger. There's no GPS on the planet that will tell you to go through here. And then secondly, if you are saying, oh, I'm driving it, oh, I'm on a railroad track, stop and turn around. You're not drunk. You're just old. Turn around. What are you doing? And they had to get like the specialized crane to take it. She stopped service. This is our one line. She stopped service, which is our biggest line. She stopped service for like 2.5 hours in rush hour traffic. Like, how is this possible?
I just went on
to try and industry plant.
I just went on to try and find the website that you're on, and I'm not kidding you. The first headline is Washington metro area ranked one of the top 10 most dangerous and hazardous for traffic.
It is. It absolutely is. And again, I'll put this in the chat for you to look at. I just don't. She was literally driving on it. Like, she's driving on the thing. I don't understand how this is remotely possible. I don't get it. I don't get how this stuff happens. No, it's fine. You can put it up.
Well, I was trying to click on it, and that's what happened. It
it's fine.
Instead.
I'll put it on the other chat for you. I just don't understand how this is even remotely possible. I don't get it. I'm racking my brain. This feels like a Los Angeles industry plant situation. Like, how is this even remotely possible? I don't know. Brandon, I don't know if you found what you were looking for, but what are your thoughts on this?
I can't find what I was looking for because I'm like, you know what this reminds me of? Because I have it somewhere. I bought it because it's cool at the time, and it'll be an instant that'll be remembered in my state for the next 50 years. But they put out a plushie of remember the bowl that got loose
Yes.
in Newark Penn Station or whatever
Right.
it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Or bull or
A few years ago, like
No,
3-4 years.
It's like 2
Was it-
years ago.
Oh, it was more recent than I thought. Okay, yes, I
Yeah.
do remember this.
So I have I forget what the hell they named it, what they named the animal, but I have the plushie that they sold after they made the plushie of that bull. I have it. And it has a little like scarf on it that says NJ Transit and all this stuff. It's actually really cool.
I apologize for interrupting you there. I just wanted to play the video just so you could see the fact that she's literally driving on the thing. Wait, so they made a plushie of it?
They made a plushie. Yeah, you can probably look it up. If you look up NJ, look at just Google that real quick. NJ Transit bull incident, or it was a cow or whatever it was, cow incident. You'll see. Whatever that animal was. I forget what it was. If it was a cow or a bull. But yeah, basically that thing. And the thing is, that thing actually, it ended up being a good story. It escaped, I believe, from a slaughterhouse. It was gonna get killed for meat. And listen, I love a good burger like anyone else does, but it had the wherewithal to escape from the slaughterhouse, and it was just, obviously scared for its life. And eventually they caught it, and instead of bringing it back to the slaughterhouse, they actually there it is.
Look at this thing on the fucking
There it is.
tracks. You're kidding me, dude.
So basically that bull is now living.
Dude.
That bull is now living, I think, in a wildlife sanctuary, so it actually is free now, or cow, whatever it is.
It got freed by running onto the train tracks and disturbing New Jersey traffic.
Basically, it ran its way to freedom.
Can I ask what's probably a crazy question?
Yeah.
So if that bull turned its head wrong and the horn got stuck in whatever that thing is, would that hurt the bull?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if the bull could sense pain at the end of the horn.
Absolutely it can.
I still think I have the plushie up here. It's either up here or
it's tagged. That's a tag on the ear. Yeah. It's a giant ass tag too.
Look. See if you can Google the plushie itself, because the plushie itself is actually real. I don't know if they don't sell it anymore. I think it's a limited time thing. I think, but that plushie, I bought it because I was like, it's a cool kind of incident to remember, because that just doesn't happen. And of course, it happened in our state, and it made news for like a week. So
Are you freaking kidding me?
There it is.
Oh.
There it is. I have it.
Oh my god! I'm sure that there's no reason why you wouldn't have this thing.
Yeah.
This should be the World Cup
you were
mascot.
saying bowl. Okay, I'm not kidding. For 5 minutes, I thought you were saying bowl.
Like the Chicago Bulls?
No, like bowl, bowl that you eat cereal out of.
Oh god. Okay.
For 5 minutes, that's what I was hearing.
I believe. Is this it? Hold on. Wait a minute. Did I just find it? I might have. Yes, I found it.
Yes, I found it.
There it is.
Aww.
There it is. The little NJ Transit thing and everything.
Yeah.
I like how you guys support your transit system, even though you guys technically hate it.
Because how many times have I said, to both of you in the last few years, how many times have I said to you guys that basically our secondary adopted slogan is, it's a shithole, but it's our shithole.
Our shithole.
Well, you're gonna have to say that to the World Cup people.
They will be getting forget a strongly worded letter. They will be getting a strongly pissed off mutt showing up at their freaking headquarters doorstep. I
Mutt?
swear to you.
Mutt is crazy.
Speaking of bulls, have you guys seen the World Cup mascots?
No.
Have we talked about their mascots?
No.
Here's the mascots.
Oh, I'm afraid.
What the?
So
What?
for the U.S. we have Clutch. For Mexico we have Zahu, and then for Canada we have Maple.
I mean, Canada's couldn't be more Canadian stereotypes in one.
I mean, we're a freaking eagle.
I mean, like
See, I couldn't even tell that was an eagle. That's how freaking crazy it is. Oh, okay, I see the wings now.
like why of all listen, I get why the other names are what they are. Why is a bald eagle mascot for soccer? Why is the name Clutch, especially for the U.S. men's team? Like that's the opposite of what they are. Like
We are unclutch.
I'm not.
I'm not gonna lie. That looks less like an eagle and more like Ben Franklin.
That's probably the point.
It kind of does. Oh my god. You know what they should do? Just like
They
if
should
really
cancel the World Cup. Yes.
Yes.
Well, first of all, yes. Second of all, what they should do if they
It's gonna
want
hijack this show for 3 weeks.
yeah, if they want to inspire,
We're gonna hijack from.
if they want to inspire the U.S. crowd at these games, you know what they should do? Do what the Eagles do and let the damn bald eagle fly around the stadium.
I mean, they are gonna do that at the Lincoln Financial Field games. I
Well,
think.
Send Swoop up to be the mascot.
Oh God!
They probably will use him.
Or no, Gritty.
So I wonder which eagle they're going to use. I'm assuming the eagle they're going to use is is Lincoln? I think it's Lincoln.
Yes.
Because he's the current.
What are the tickets for the final as of right now? Do you know, Brandon?
I'm afraid to even look.
I don't even want to because I think I'd have a heart attack and die. So. Besides, what's it gonna matter? My friends aren't gonna watch on a projector in someone's backyard anyway while they're all getting
World
drunk.
Cup final tickets are officially priced at $10,990 to.
Oh my
God, man!
Up to $32,970 directly from FIFA.
Oh my God! Wait. The other World Cup thing we should talk about is the halftime show.
Oh God!
Wait,
they're actually doing a halftime show for the World Cup final. And you know what's funny? BBC isn't showing it. They said no to showing it.
Why?
Because they want their pundits to talk about soccer or football forever. It's Coldplay, Shakira, Madonna, and BTS.
Okay, I can do without that halftime show.
Wait, hang on. You said Coldplay, Beyonce.
Coldplay. No, it's Chris Martin, so the Coldplay lead singer.
Yeah.
Madonna, Shakira, and BTS. And Sesame Street and the Muppets will also have a dance performance.
Oh dear God. Here's what I'll say, and let me just be clear: we are not advocating for this on this show by any stretch. But that is going to be a hell of a halftime show to watch if you're taking LSD that day.
Why? I don't know why it would do that.
Just wait because of the corporate greed. Because of course, the World Cup is a big deal, especially in the tri-state area, and and because we're right next to the world. Yeah, I'm saying we're right next to New York City. Of all things, so can you imagine though? Watching
$18,000 for 2 tickets in the 300 level at MetLife.
That's nothing. I'm seeing resale for up to $2 million. I'm not exaggerating. I'm seeing resale for $2 million.
I see where it's coming from, Scoop.
Guys, who has? Even if the only people that have money for that are celebrities and FIFA themselves. So,
and that's who they're trying to get.
Yeah.
The thing what's crazy too is how it's we always talk about how expensive Super Bowl tickets are, or World Series, whatever it is. But it's that stadium will still somehow, some way, even though tickets are worth the price of a brand new car, they will still find a way to pack that stadium with people. I don't know how because nobody can afford that.
By the way, Portugal versus Congo, your first game in Houston. $2,000 for 2 seats.
Why? What? Like I could just watch it at home and watch us smack them 8-0 for free.
If you lose that game, you are gonna have a problem.
How the hell? Wait, how the hell in God's name will we lose to Congo?
I'm just saying, you never know.
Who the hell does Congo have that would even compare to the Portugal?
Portugal.
I'm just saying, if you lose any game at group stage, I just can't imagine the rant
You
will
say
go on the
you
show.
say the Portugal is funnier than me saying Portuguese.
Who in God's name? Like, think about it this way: the
Congo.
Congo. Do they know what a soccer ball looks like?
Yes,
Because
it's their national sport.
yeah, compared to the Portuguese, who that's all the Portuguese do is play soccer.
I'm
Like,
looking at the Congolese soccer team right now. I do not know one of these names.
I mean,
you shouldn't, because it's the Congo. Like, my God. Like, listen.
yeah, we're still gonna watch it.
Listen. I expect this. Like, I don't care. Like,
we is a little bit fast and loose right there, but all right.
like.
I mean, Bray and
know
I are
that-
gonna wake up for that, or I have to wake up for because it's a 10 o'clock game for some reason. But
I mean, listen. Like, I'm still gonna be sitting there celebrating when we beat them 10-0. But like, at the same time, like, I expect us just like I don't even care. Like, honestly, I could see us beating them 10-0, or I could see us beating them 1-0, but having 95% of the possession, just because we just don't care. Like, because we're just gonna take the air out of the ball, and you're literally gonna see us passing the ball back and forth, just back and literally here. Kick it back to me. I'll kick it back to you. Kick it back to me. Kick it back to you.
the Arsenal way.
So basically, what the Spurs should have done at the end of the game tonight.
Yes. But like,
Yeah.
like I can literally see us winning that game either those one or two ways. Either beating the absolute living hell out of them, which you know what, you might as well because goal differential is important.
It is extremely important.
so
you
you
need to
might-
beat
you
them
might as
as
well beat the crap out of them
nasty
if
as
you can.
possible.
So like honestly, so it's like if we're gonna go by the goal differential, if we don't beat them by at least 4 goals, there's a problem. But like we should beat them 5-1 or 4-0. But
Are you guys excited for Donald Trump to be at the Knicks game in Game 3?
that
Why would I care about that?
they
That's
better
gonna be hell.
They better be careful because that is a ticking time bomb waiting to explode.
I said why would I care about that? But then as soon as I said that, I was like, not
Dude,
necessarily
Secret
that.
Service in New York City.
Yeah.
Or basically New York. That's scary, man.
With a bunch of psycho Knicks fans.
Yeah, that ugh.
In a very blue state, no less. Like
Yes.
you know.
And by the way, this extends to the UFC White House card. We're getting close.
Wait,
That-
when is that again?
July 14th. It's a Sunday
God.
card. Weirdly, it's not a
God.
it's a Sunday card, but
For some reason, I thought it was in June. Okay.
no, it is in June. Excuse me, it's
Well,
June 14th.
I guarantee that
And then July 14th, the Connor fight. So
forget regular White House like security and like beefed up detail. I guarantee because of how that's going down with that whole card and whatever, and obviously it being controversial as is, you won't be able to get probably within a 10-mile radius of that area.
well, they're
I mean,
having a fan. They're having a fan
You
event
shouldn't
at the
when
park
there's been
across the
4
street.
assassination attempts in the past 2 years.
They're having a fan event like at the park across the way, and I'm like nervous about that too. It's just everything about that is like as much as again, I'm excited for it, but I'm like, oh my
I'm
God.
excited for it, but the more we talk about it, the more I'm thinking this is national security. Like,
That's how I feel. I don't understand. And by the way, Trump said he wants to keep it up like forever. He just wants to keep an octagon in the South Lawn. Why? He just said that today. Why?
Bro,
It's a
bro,
big giant octagon with
I don't-
stands that are never going to be filled.
I don't think Trump realizes sometimes that this is not the era where like he was like running the New Jersey Generals or being
He
Like,
he runs the president like The Apprentice. Like if you just take
Yeah.
politics out of it, going to a Knicks game, the whole World Cup saga that's been going on with him, excluding the Iran stuff, just the whole thing in general is a mess. and then the White House card. Oh my god! Just what are we doing?
I'll put it this way. From the amount that I know about him, I'm not surprised that he was very close, at least for a time, with Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing, and I know that Rob knows about this. You need to watch the hair versus hair match with McMahon and Trump. That's the
There's
funniest
a
thing.
match on that.
There's,
By the way,
they didn't-
you know that Donald Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer,
yes,
Yep.
and I
yes.
don't know why he is.
I
I
believe
don't
it's
get
because
it.
the thing is, it's just one of those memorable moments. Well, you gotta think that Donald Trump's kicked money around to so many different organizations. I'm pretty
Things,
sure he's
yeah.
kicked money
Well,
into
it's. I mean, WrestleMania was it? I don't remember what numbers they were, but like really early WrestleMania for WWE, Trump Plaza was like the venue for
Yeah.
it.
And
Yeah.
then that's same with the UFC too. Like early UFC events were held
Yeah.
there.
If
Did
want,
you?
but
By the
that's
way,
true, yeah.
did you see the match at the AAA match in Mexico? Because they showed it on Raw last week or this week, so I have to go back and watch it. It's like one of the best
Yeah.
wrestling matches.
The battle between the El Gran
Chad
Americanos.
Gable's, yeah.
Yeah.
They showed it on Raw, actually, the last hour of Raw.
It
So
was
I got to go
phenomenal.
back and watch it.
Phenomenal.
Apparently, it was amazing, so I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Because they show it on Raw, and I have Netflix, so I got to check it out.
This is a good time. This is a good time to be a wrestling fan, not in terms of the companies themselves, but in terms of the actual wrestling being produced from both WWE and AEW. This is the best time to be a wrestling fan, just in terms of the pure wrestling aspect of it.
I'll be honest. I think WWE is like the wrestling is so boring. It's so contrived.
It is.
Watching Clash in Italy, watching the first hour of Clash in Italy, like the two women's and men's title matches, were so boring, dude.
Well,
It was just the same match over and over again. It was stupid, man. And then I watched AEW Dynamite while you guys were doing this, and I'm like, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just a stupid show on TBS.
Yeah. And like,
what is happening?
The thing is too, go when we get to it, because it's coming up I believe in another month or so. Forbidden Door. When Forbidden Door
Door's coming up at the end. Forbidden Door's coming up at the end of June. Like the last week of June.
It's one of the AEW's pay-per-views. It's the AEW pay-per-view that's partnered with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So
it's with New Japan. And New Japan just got bought out too.
Basically, yeah. So basically, they call it the Forbidden Door because that was kind of the term between like the United States and wrestling, basically, and Japan. So the Forbidden Door was like those two sides of the wrestling spectrum would never meet, and now they do. Now they've crossed over. So like, basically, Forbidden Door is a lot of Japan's best against a lot of the AEW's and just professional wrestling's best.
Will Ospreay is probably my favorite wrestler going now. Watching him today. And by the way, the gimmicks are so stupid.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like about wrestling is like the gimmicks are so stupid. Like Scoop. AEW posted a video last week of a guy, like they did a match and the guy brings out a vacuum, hits two people square with a vacuum, and then hits the last guy, and all this vacuum dust flare goes up in the air. And I was like, this is great.
What is that?
It's so good. Like,
so weird.
He's literally trying to hit people with a giant Tyson vacuum. Who comes up with that? It's so good because it's wrestling. This is what they do.
What's wrestling about hitting somebody with a vacuum?
In wrestling, you'll hit somebody with anything. You'll hit them with a kendo stick. You'll hit them with a tree branch.
What's a kendo stick?
Oh my god, that is probably it's basically like imagine like a big bamboo stick in your hand. It's a different kind of material, but it's Japanese. But a big bamboo stick in your hand, and it's taped up so that way, like so it stays like straight. Yeah, and you are whacking somebody basically with a massive heavy stick, just over the back, over the head, and then basically in the stomach or in the legs even.
They do trash cans. They do they do fights in a dumpster. They do fights on a golf course. Like
Yeah.
they go
When I
crazy.
think of wrestling, I think of like physically like engaging with the person. I don't think of like, thunder blanking them with random household objects.
Oh, so you see now.
But that's the point though. The point is because again, this is scripted, so they want to like add different pieces to it to like
Yeah.
be engaging essentially.
Yeah, basically, their whole point is to entertain you. Besides just giving you two guys, rolling around in a ring for 10 minutes.
There was a
So
guy last week in
See, that's what
AEW.
I thought it
There,
was, and that's
there
what
was
would have made more sense.
there was a guy last week in AEW, really great match, where they stapled the guy's head like
oh
50
yeah,
times. And
oh
he's
yeah.
bleeding everywhere, and it's like,
When
oh
you
my
got
god.
when you go
Why
back,
would anybody agree to do that?
because it's for the love of the
Because
game.
they're crazy.
It's
Because they're
because
crazy.
the
Who
thing
has
about
hit their head enough times to be in any way interested in doing that?
Because
you,
they're crazy.
I have to send you the videos. What I
That's
got,
got Antonio Brown written all over it.
like speaking of that, CTE, do you want like nowadays? Wrestlers don't get hit in the head anymore.
Exactly.
25, 30 years ago, they were taking full-on steel chairs to the temple.
Yeah, to the head, man.
Yeah, you one either told me or showed me something about that one. Like we talked about that once on
Yeah,
a
I'll send
show.
you that whole like 10-minute video, like the chair shots in WWE history, like the best ones.
Yeah,
Like,
and we talked about it. I don't remember if it was us three or if Shane was a part of it. But
Okay, wait, Scoop. This is like my favorite wrestling clip ever. Pull up your phone and just watch that clip. I sent him the vacuum clip because when I saw that, I lost it. It was so good.
Hang on, let me find it. Hang on,
you
or let me wait.
You also realize too that wrestling is supposed to be entertainment. It's not.
It's sports entertainment, but it really is
Yeah.
entertainment. It's just for
Yeah.
entertainment purposes. It's in our. It's in.
See, that's the thing. Is
Instagram.
like I don't know. For me personally, I'm just like I'm not sure if I would even find this entertaining.
Dude, watch this video. This video like sent me flying. They actually did this.
The thing about wrestling is this isn't what they do like in every match. It's just like
It's special stuff. It's just like
like pro wrestling is like 90% for the love of the business and entertainment, all that stuff, but then the 10% is comedy. So part of it is like that creative stuff like that. So it's not just that.
Sorry,
like
hiccups.
Like if that's your first impression of pro wrestling, don't judge a book by its cover. It's not just stupid stuff like that.
But the stupid stuff is entertaining.
Yeah, but the stupid stuff is funny. Yeah,
I think honestly, like even the backstage stuff is so ridiculous.
Okay, I just got it up. Hang on.
All right, watch that. Obviously, volume down, but it is the most hilarious thing.
What's all the smoke from?
It's from the vacuum.
Oh, that's dust. Okay. And what was he holding his hair? Like, what was he using to hold his hair? And was that a McDonald's?
No.
It was like a McDonald's, like what the hell was that?
It was so good. He goes boom, boom, and then smacks the guy with time.
You also have to.
I hope that guy already had all the kids he wants.
I'll send you guys the videos that I took of the Wrestle Pro event that I went to.
Oh my god, the Wrestle Pro event that you went to, those slams were sick, bro.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal. It's brutal. Like there was one event that they did an I Quit match, and an I Quit match usually goes on for a long time, but they did basically a 15-minute I Quit match. And dude, one guy tried to do a springboard off the ropes. He ran towards the ropes, jumped off the springboard. Basically, you're using the rope as a springboard. So basically, you run towards the ropes, you jump onto the rope, and basically jump back. So basically, you use it as a springboard to launch you back into your opponent. So he basically tried to springboard off the middle rope, and as he turned around to obviously do the attack, and remember it's scripted, but it's still a loud noise. The guy.
Dude, they still injure themselves. That's the thing. Like you realize they still.
I don't know how you wouldn't.
Yeah, like these guys still can tear their pectoral muscle, tear their rotator cuffs, and they do a lot. They'll break their kneecap, something like that. But because it's still, even though that's why it's called sports entertainment, you're still doing a very physical activity, but you're trying to entertain people.
And I
So-
think the reason why it's scripted is because if it wasn't scripted, it would be a lot more damage.
It'd be a lot worse. Yeah,
it would be a lot worse.
You would die, basically. You'd be dropped on your head for real and die and crack your vertebrae and it'd be over.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, so, and listen, and the thing is, you can go down the rabbit hole. There's been plenty of stories of guys, that are supposed to be, supposed to be scripted, but getting dropped on their head for real because the guy giving them the move botched it. Like, there was one time where Stone Cold Steve Austin, everybody knows him, but he got dropped on his head by Owen Hart for real and got temporarily paralyzed for about a few hours, basically. So, like, but there's stories like that. But either way, so the guy that was watching the I Quit match, he did a springboard move off the middle rope, and as he's jumping back off the middle rope, the dude with the steel chair literally throws at his head and knocks him out. So, like, it was like, I mean, it was a loud noise. All you heard was from the steel chair hitting. Yeah, you basically heard a crack. So, like, it's, like that stuff. If you can, the whole thing with pro wrestling is you can see when moves don't hit the actual other person, but the whole thing is to make the sound believable,
Right.
and to sell it really well.
So I'm gonna share two of my absolute favorites that I've learned recently.
Yeah,
and Scoop's gonna get a great reaction to this because when I look
God.
at it's Mystery Iguana.
Oh
What?
God!
What?
Mystery Iguana.
He's easily one of the weirdest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then the guy who's like helped the Knicks actually with his curses because he's technically a vampire. Danhausen. I love Danhausen.
Somebody that I saw in the last day or two was wearing a Danhausen shirt. I can't remember.
I
Who.
love
yeah,
Danhausen, bro.
Yeah.
Danhausen is so funny. He's actually pretty good in the ring, though, too.
He's the best comedic gimmick in wrestling in a very long time. He really is
so funny, man.
Yeah.
His "You Are Cursed" gimmicks are so good. This is from last week in Lexington when he's doing his science experiments and he burns the whole place down, basically. It was so good.
Danhausen is a real interesting guy. The thing is, I've heard him do interviews obviously out of character. He did an interview with Chris Van Vliet out of character, and where
he talked about how he was the first guy in wrestling to trademark his makeup.
Yes,
because Magic the Dragon character was very similar, and so he's I'm going to trademark it.
Well, I think didn't Sting also do that too?
Sting did it after him because he didn't know it was going to be a thing.
Yeah,
that you could do that, and so he trademarked his makeup. And
you guys see the amount of people when I pull up to wrestling events. You guys see the amount of people that will give me compliments because I have a rare, not just rare, but I have a rare and custom made Sting WCW T-shirt. So like,
oh my God, WCW too.
So actually, I'll find it because I have it in my room. Hold on, real quick.
But that's the thing, by the way. Like it's not for me, Scoop. It's like the history of wrestling is so crazy because all these promotions and WWE kind of slicing it. Oh, it's so sick. That is so sick. But it's like the history with networks and it's like because it is about the business of wrestling. It's just what they do in the ring. It's like the behind the scenes stuff and how things are done. It's crazy. Because if they mess up even one thing, people will hate you, John Cena.
I was gonna wear that, but I decided not to. Wear that. I saw somebody wearing this though. Actually, 2 or 3 people wearing this. So
yeah. But no, that's really the thing. Danhausen is so funny though. Danhausen's probably my favorite. I obviously have a Rey Mysterio shirt.
Put it this way, my friends and I, because a lot of my friends and I are wrestling fans. We obviously all know as grown men that it's fake, but we want to be entertained. Like we'll sit there and we'll yell shit at a wrestler for fun, we'll see like a botch. If someone botches a kick real bad, we're like, "Yo, you missed. By the way, you might want to rehearse that." we'll do stuff like that, like where it's like we know it's fake, but we're just there for a good time. And the thing is, when the crowd gets into it, like you also gotta realize too, wrestling is one of the few communities where everybody gets involved, whether it's little kids, older adults who are like 60, 70 years old, uh, people with disabilities, people from all walks of life. Wrestling is a thing that brings everybody together because it's one of the few, and like you can go to the movie theater for a certain movie, but every kind of movie, like unless it's a superhero, a random superhero movie, movies don't cater to all different demographics. They cater to certain ones or a certain topic or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wrestling has something for everybody.
Yeah, like for me, it's the funny gimmicks because it makes me feel like a kid again. It makes me feel like a kid being like, "What is this?"
And the thing is, even though we know it's not real, when a wrestler is into their gimmick and believes in what they're doing and wants to put on a good show for the fans then feel it in return, and we respond kindly to that.
And that's why John Cena is such a legend.
Yeah, like like I can go down the list, like John Cena, Sting, The Undertaker, Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold and The Rock, Rey Mysterio. Like these are beloved wrestlers, and this is why like everybody's like, oh, how can you be a legend of a fake sport? It's like, here's the thing: being a legend in pro wrestling is more than just quote unquote winning a title, because you don't win one. You are kind of scripted to win one, but it's about the fact of how do you carry yourself as a pro wrestler? How do you treat the other guys in the locker room? Are you a safe worker? Are you dedicated to your craft? Are you keeping yourself in shape? It's like there's a lot of things that go into being a pro wrestler that people don't realize when they're like, oh, it's just fake or it's just pretend. Okay, you think that? You go do it.
It's really hard. I would never do it.
Hard.
Never.
It is hard to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And
I talked about too. Go ahead, Brandon.
I'll just say real quick, you can be on the indies, like in the away from WWE, away from AW, all this stuff, and be a pro wrestler, but not really a pro wrestler. You're kind of just doing it for the love of the game until someone notices you. But to be a pro wrestler, so AEW, TNA, WWE, New Japan, AAA, to be one of those guys in those promotions, you need to literally be so dedicated to your craft, like you are a real professional athlete.
And even in the development ranks, like NXT, like you gotta prove yourself in NXT if you want to go up to the big show. Yeah. You gotta prove yourself in NXT. You can't just sit in NXT. The thing is, obviously, I got into it during COVID because there's nothing else on, and my Romanian friends were like, "Hey, check this out! It's actually quite fun." And my favorite was they did a Money in the Bank. I gotta go back and rewatch it. They did a Money in the Bank during COVID, and they didn't have a ring, so they just did it in the offices. They like broke tables and chairs in the WWE offices, and I was like, "This is dumb. This is so dumb."
That is bonkers.
You also got to think about, and this is why I also say when you want to understand the psychology of pro wrestling and kind of the effects of pro wrestling, watch the shows, like not just the actual shows on TV, but watch things like Dark Side of the Ring, and then watch stuff on YouTube from a lot of former pro wrestlers. So Stevie Richards, Maven.
I've been really into Maven because you sent me Maven. That was the first one you sent me. He did such a great job of just breaking down when people mess up and how bad it looks. So now, like when I watch WWE or AEW, I can tell you when a move is fake or not, and when it's just sound. I can tell you instantly.
And you also got to realize too, some wrestlers, they want to be so believable, they'll wrestle. And just to give a little bit more wrestling content before we leave, is that some wrestlers will do something that's called working stiff. So it's like they won't, like when you're working stiff, you're not hitting someone with a full-on shot, but you're hitting them hard enough for them to feel it. So like it's so you're literally hitting. So it's like because a lot of it is choreographed. A lot of it is like weak punches and whatnot.
They always say it's a dance, and I think that's the best way to put it.
The thing is like, and the thing is too is like, and Maven says this a lot. He's like, the problem with a lot of pro wrestling today is that they treat it too much.
Maven Huffman. Huffman was one of the former mid cards for WWE for like a decade plus.
What's Okay.
About like the mid card just means like how like with the UFC fight you have your early fights and then you have your main event and you
That's
you're
what
a
that means. You have like early main and then your big
so
dogs.
Okay.
so basically yeah, so like he was never a main, he was never a mainstay, he was never a big dog in the company, but
Okay.
You still get
even
paid really well if you're a
you
mid
do,
carder.
yeah, especially if you're working, especially if you're working a lot of nights. If you're on TV a lot of nights, you do get paid well. But basically, he was in the company for about 4 or 5 years, and also
Oh, I
in the
thought it was
Indies.
more like a decade. Was
Well,
it
no,
shorter?
in total, when you count his WWE career and his indie career, it's about a whole decade, a little bit over a decade.
Yeah.
But just in WWE is about 4 or 5 years, and or yeah, about 4 years. Um, but basically, like he's one person that always says when it comes to pro wrestling that the biggest problem today is that it's too much of a rehearsed dance and it's no longer scripted violence.
Yeah, I think WWE, that's
That's
my
good.
biggest problem. That's my biggest problem with WWE right now.
Excuse me.
Is it's just flat.
Yeah,
Every time I watch it, I put on AEW and it's
that's
like they
scripted
feel like
violence.
they feel like they actually care. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and again, I don't think, and we talked about this last week, I don't think it's the wrestlers' fault in WWE. I think what's happening is Triple H and the creative team are mismanaging every fight on every card and mismanaging the storylines on Raw and SmackDown. That when I put on AEW, I'm like, even if I don't know the storylines, which I don't because I'm more of a casual fan, I still can enjoy it and see the playfulness of it. And WWE to me just feels so flat right now. I don't even care.
That's what turned me off from WWE when I was about 14 years old. I was a big WWE. I loved wrestling in general from the time I was about 7 years old to the time I was about 14. I was into WWE. I was into TNA. Those were the only two companies that were on at the time on TV. So I was into WWE and TNA. But at that time, WWE was still in the ruthless aggression era, which was phenomenal. But
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you mentioning.
But that was when they were still in the ruthless aggression era and in what was called the early PG era. So
What's that?
basically when WWE changed from being more because WWE in the Attitude era in the late 90s, early 2000s was almost like not rated M for mature because they couldn't do certain things on TV, but they really pushed the boundaries of being really like raunchy or really
Yeah, like proper TV 14 is what you're looking for on a wrestling on cable or on Netflix or HBO Max now, anything like that.
And then the ruthless aggression era was still hardcore like that, but toned down for kids. So it was more like TV 14 / like really like starting to really tone it down. And so early PG era is like the last era that people really consider good in WWE because it was the last era where it was still fully believable in what they were doing.
I watched parts of the last two pay-per-views of WWE, like the parts that are on ESPN, and I've never been more bored in my life. Yep. It is so boring. I can't. And then I turn on AEW for 5 minutes, and I'm like, "Yeah."
The biggest problem I have with it. Oh, I have a lot of problems with WWE. My biggest
we talked about it last week extensively going into Clash in Italy because we were like, dude. Yeah. And I told you after I watched the Clash in Italy matches, I'm like, I have never been more bored ever for a men's title and a women's title.
The biggest,
excuse me.
But the biggest problem is, and they were having problems before this with this, but ever since they got on with ESPN and they turned it into a more sports broadcast and like gave you like stats and like how many matches this wrestler has won, like they turned it more into a sports broadcast rather than an entertainment broadcast.
And it's bad.
It's bad because you can't take entertainment and try to make it more realistic. Like in terms of you can do that with the actual wrestling.
Yeah, but you can do that. Like AEW is doing that. Yeah. AEW is like giving you the wrestling as a sport, doing the entertainment value in the back end. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, but even Clash in Italy watching it, like that was exactly my problem. It's like, here's this stat, here's the thing. I'm like, guys, this is scripted content. Like, it's not. You could still call it sports programming because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
can't just go all the way there because it looks awful.
Like they they got the whole they're doing the whole thing before the Clash in Italy. They're doing the whole pregame show, and I'm like, what are we pre-gaming? This is not a real this isn't a sport. This is not a sport.
They spent they did kind of fix that with Clash in Italy a little bit, but WrestleMania was like 30 minutes before the first match. So what are we doing?
Like, or not even. Sometimes they do a whole 2 hours of pregame, and I'm like, why?
Pregame for what? What?
Like
for what?
Because they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go through each of the matches and break down the wrestlers in the match, and I'm like,
I can do that on my own time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. It's not a real this isn't UFC. Because the thing is, the problems with WWE is that they're taking a page, and obviously because they're linked with TKO with the UFC, but the UFC is a real sport. It's a combat sport. There's a reason to do the tail of the tape and how many fights a guy has won in a row and what this belt means and what that belt means. There's no reason to do it in WWE because it's not a sport.
And then also, again, like the camera angles. You saw this, especially in Clash in Italy. They're so wide, and they're just like, they're not following the action properly. And it is just, and then you watch AEW, it's like, oh, we have close angle cameras. We have, they've given up on camera angles. They don't care.
The WWE is just content these days because they know that they could piss off fans, and that they could still be the top dog in that space. Then it's like,
but guess what? 60% of the last AEW pay-per-view is wrestling. 30% of Clash in Italy was wrestling, and there's like 2 hours worth of ads. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't need to see
why watch any WWE event, let alone pay-per-view, live? What's the reason? You're just gonna be stuck with ads for hours. I don't need to see a wrestler's entrance interrupted by an ad for Slim Jim and then an ad for a life insurance policy. I'm like, what is this crap?
Slim Jim sounds like a wrestler's name.
But by the way, did you see on Clash in Italy how many times they promoted Scary Movie like 20 times? Scary Movie was like on the mat. It's like, I know this movie's coming out. You don't need to tell me 40 times.
That's why I always tell you guys the best shows you will ever go to, if it's not AEW, indie shows.
I gotta check some out in my local area. Actually, I gotta look into it.
You should, especially because you're right there, like in a big market. You guys should have plenty over there.
I'm sure. So, I gotta let you know. I gotta go to one. I gotta check it out for myself.
It's so much fun because tickets are so cheap, and you actually get like 2 hours plus worth of wrestling. It's not like you're getting a pay-per-view where it's like, it's a 6-hour pay-per-view, but you're only getting at 1 hour of wrestling. No, if they're telling you that this event's going for 2 hours, you're getting basically an hour and about 50 minutes of wrestling.
Right, because you want the entrances too. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta check out some indie shows. I gotta see what that's like before I do AEW, because AEW comes here every couple of years.
And actually, I'll send you not just the videos I took from the event from WrestlePro, but WrestlePro has their own YouTube channel. I'll send you because they go live when they're on. So I'll send you the event from this past Sunday. I'll send you the actual the live.
I think the best thing we gotta do for Scoop is we gotta send him some of the Maven videos that you sent me. Because they really explain it so well, like what it is as a business.
Like it's up.
And I think it's awesome.
It's up to you, Scoop, if you how if you want to get into wrestling, but just from at least for your general knowledge of the business, his videos are worth watching.
Yeah,
they're really good.
They're really good.
Thank you.
He watched my favorite video he did recently is he watched an episode of Raw. He was talking about how the ads are pretty intrusive and all these, and I was like, man. But yeah, that being said, I gotta go back and watch. I think it was it Monday's episode of Raw. I gotta go back and watch the the El Grande Americano match because people are freaking out about that match and how good it was. I got to go back and watch it.
I think it's but it wasn't. Well, it wasn't on Raw. They might have showed it again on Raw, but it was.
They showed it. Apparently, what they did, at least in the international markets, I think they did in the US too, is they're trying to get a TV deal in the US for AAA. So they showed,
which would be really good.
They showed the last hour. They showed that whole match on Raw because they didn't have 3 hours of content. So I got to go back and see.
I grew up when Raw still had 3 hours of content.
Raw has like an hour at most.
Yeah.
At most. Raw doesn't have 3 hours of content. Netflix Raw is rough. Netflix Raw is just, it's awful. It's so bad. SmackDown, nobody cares about SmackDown. Honestly, nobody cares. All I care is Danhausen is there.
It's been better than Raw for a while now, anyway. Like that's what's crazy. It's like Raw.
And I don't even think it's good. I don't even think SmackDown's good at all.
Yeah, like Raw is still considered the flagship, but SmackDown's actually been better. So like it's like that shows you the state of WWE as a company, where it's like, oh my god, this is just crap.
Could you make an argument that NXT is better right now?
Yes. Yeah, well, NXT is just an extension of WWE, but NXT has always been better than the actual parent company. It's always been better,
and that's on your local channel. That's on CW. Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, thanks for letting us do a little bit of. I want to add that in just because that match was so good and Clash in Italy was so bad that I don't even. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. Anything else, Scoop, before we go?
I not that I can think of. I'm sure that I'll think of stuff. I'm sure that by morning I'll have thought of something that we should have gotten to.
But we'll do it tomorrow anyway. Or you guys will do it tomorrow. Yeah. I'm excited for Game 2 tomorrow. I'm excited for Someone's College World Series tomorrow. Yeah. Maybe talk some French Open. I'll try to catch some of that in the morning. On the women's side, the French Open's been crazy, by the way. The amount of upsets, Brandon, I know you've seen just the amount of upsets that we've had. Oh my god, it's been crazy. It's been crazy at Roland Garros. But yeah, all right, Scoop, and outro us, man. This is your show.
Yes. All right. Well, again, thanks to everybody who tuned in, both old friends and new faces. And of course, Rob, thanks for kind of popping in and out tonight. And Brandon,
that's what a producer does. Just pops in and out and does stuff.
Brandon, we covered a lot tonight. We got congrats. I'll say one more time, congrats to the Knicks fans on Game 1. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And
Friday's Game 2. Tomorrow's Stanley Cup.
Today's Thursday.
Oh, crap. West Coast. Crap. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah. But at least it's not like a few weeks ago when you thought it was Tuesday. You thought that we were 24 hours apart for some reason.
Yeah, man, this has been a rough couple of weeks.
It's all good. It's all good. We just hope you feel better, like completely better soon.
Oh, weekend for sure. We're getting to the end here.
Good. But we'll be on in a little bit, as usual, a little bit under 18 hours for What's the Scoop, and hope that some of y'all will come back and join us tomorrow. And until then, have a nice evening and have a good day tomorrow.